This is the Jason Gregor Show.
Up ball torched to right by Guerrero. That's not coming back. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. now with 7 home runs in the last 11. This guy is unstoppable.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Wheels around the baseline. Lowry's going to
Force 1440.
And the Oilers Nation YouTube channel.
Kittle's got to turn into that security blanket form. What's Aiyuk here? He's got He beats Dean, and he takes it the distance. He is in. Touchdown San Francisco from 76 yards.
Well, a lovely Wednesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. And it's the Gregor Show, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the lovely province of PlayAlberta.ca. And nobody won last night. So Friday's Lotto Max is 70 mil and 37 max mills. Tonight, Lotto 649, 38 mil for the goal ball jackpot. So best of luck for all of you who play at playalberta.ca. The Olympic watch continues. And hey, you know what? Another medal for Canada today as Alicia Newman is the first Canadian. Man, we got a lot of firsts this Olympics. Fantastic. First ever Canadian to get a medal in pole vault. Fantastic. I just enjoy like her persona. She's having fun. When she missed the one jump, she lands on the mat. She's like, stands up and she's like, oh, just missed it. And then, you know what? It's just kind of having fun. Like you're in the biggest competition of your life to this point, and you're enjoying it, which is very cool to see. So congratulations to her. We, of course, we're watching the 200 and the 400, and we've got, we'll get you updates on all of that throughout the program. Today, also on the show today, we'll be joined by a former member of the Edmonton Oilers in Who Is It Wednesday. So that's coming up. Well, I think if I give this hint, you should all get the answer. I think it'll be our first repeat appearance on Who Is It Wednesday. So that's coming up. I'll let you chew on that for a second. We'll hear from Yaremchuk. We'll be by. Also, Alan Saunders will join us. We'll go to Pittsburgh. The Brandon Aiyuk. The trade rumors continue to be spicy. The Steelers. What's going to happen there? It seems like it's inevitable he's going to be traded. It's just going to be a matter of where is he going to be traded to. Nick Hamilton will be by. Talk a little LA sports. Of course, we'll update you. Vladdy Guerrero. Quite the streak for Vladdy Guerrero, although he's got a ways to go to catch his old man. Of course, Vlad Guerrero is currently on an 18-game hitting streak. Not bad. But there's been in the history of Major League Baseball 37 streaks of 30 or more games. So he's got a ways to go. And one of those streaks, who's tied for 26th longest hitting streak in MLB history, Vlad Guerrero Sr., his father, had a 31-game hit streak back in 1999. So 25 years ago. We'll see if Junior can get there. He's hitting well. He's hitting 500 over an 18-game stretch, 33 hits and 66 plate appearances. He has 9 doubles. Actually, he's got 10 home runs, 10 doubles, 9 home runs. Also, 11 base on balls, 7 strikeouts, 18 RBIs. He's been really good. His batting average, he's raised it, 0.33 points from 284 to 317. His on-base percentage is up. His slugging percentage is up significantly. The guy's killing it right now. I know the Jays are going nowhere this season, but that's something to watch for if you are a Jays fan looking ahead to tonight. Today, I'm going to give you a very random question, but it's based on recent history. And I think people will be surprised by the names on the list and who do you think is going to be in the group this year. Okay, so here's the question. You can always answer it 833-401-1440 in our EWL inbox, 833-401-1440. I'll give you the question momentarily. Connor Halley, of course, is along today. Con man, how you doing?
Gregor, doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I am. I'm pretty good. What's tickled your fancy today? What have you been watching when it comes to the Olympics?
This morning we got up and we watched the women's beach volleyball. Big win over Spain.
Yeah, into the semifinals.
Yeah, dominant performance. Like Spain made it a little interesting, but Canada bounced back quite easily. Actually, they look really good. Got in here, watched a little bit of the pole vault. Newen picking up the bronzes. Fantastic news. It's been just outstanding, Gregor. Like ideally, the time zone doesn't sync up for me perfectly, but waking up and watching the Olympics every morning has been a real treat. So yeah, today was volleyball and a little more track and field for me.
Yeah, I'm not up to watch everything live by any stretch in the middle of the night. You diehards who do that, that's fantastic. So bad news. I don't know if anybody saw, well, some of you probably watched Mo Ahmed, who was a silver medalist in the 5,000 meters 4 years, well, technically 3 years ago, but 4 years at the 2020 Olympics. He got caught up in a little bit of a melee there. It was carnage all over the place. I don't know if you watched that race or not, but he went down. And then on the last lap, 4 other guys got tangled up. There was some jostling. Boom, they go down. It was crazy. I'm trying to remember the last time I saw that many in an Olympic race, just carnage all over the field. So it's we'll see what's happening. But also, now the other thing is, here's a question I'm going to ask. Don't get upset, but it illustrates it to me. We talked about this last week, and there was so much misinformation about the 2 female boxers, and they are women, 100% they're women. So please, don't unless you want to argue with science. I don't know what you're arguing. Okay, but there are different body types. There are different looks for both men and women. You look in your group of friends, somebody's maybe more manly looking amongst your buddies, right? Maybe you got the Connor Halley who grows a beard in 3 minutes, right? Then you got the other guys who are baby nude. They can't grow a beard to save their life, right? It happens. There's differences, right? You're going to have some men who are bigger and bulkier, and then some guys are a little bit thinner, right? You have some guys who maybe look a little bit more masculine, some look a little bit more feminine. It happens on the male side. Why are people shocked that it happens on the female side? I don't understand this. Oh, well, she looks bulky. I'm like, yeah, look at certain sports. Certain women's body types are better for certain sports. It's just how it is. Just like in men. Right? Like, look at the men in hammer throw, right? If you're a slender guy, you're not in hammer throw. Okay? You don't have, I don't know what it is. Maybe you don't have the same testosterone. You don't have the same DNA. You're just not built for that. You're going to have different looks. Like, if anything, I'm kind of surprised at the people who don't recognize this. It's been noticeable for the entire time. What happened is and no one wants to do it, but let's call a spade a spade. The Italian boxer quit. She's a quitter. Well, I've never been hit that hard. Yeah. Welcome to sports. You think she's the first boxer ever who got hit by someone who was the hardest puncher they've ever faced before? You have 2 choices. You get in there or you quit. But you know what? This is the simplest thing I tell my kids when I coach in sports. Anybody can quit. It's not hard to quit. The easiest thing to do is quit. You want to quit for a race for the puck, quit for a race on a ball. It's easy. You stop. What's hard is to keep going because you have to push through. You have to get uncomfortable. And you know what? When you learn to play body contact the first year, some kids like it, others don't. You obviously it's best to want to try to coach your kids to be comfortable absorbing contact, get your head on a swivel, see what's coming, be prepared, all those sorts of things. But sometimes you're going to get hit when you're not ready. It happens. So you can either quit or you can be like, well, I'm going to have to keep my head up more. But no one ever really talked about that. How she just quit wounds. She hits harder. So she's a bigger, stronger woman. Just how it goes. She's in the same weight class. I remember Jelena Marjanovic, when we had her in studio, saying, hey, how come it's hard for you to get a fight? Well, because the girls think I hit too hard. Right? Like, this isn't new. It's just the ignorant parade. Everybody got on board the train. Somebody said something. I'm just going to blindly repeat it, even though it's not remotely true. And so anyway, my long-winded point was I was watching pole vault. It's a very different type who's in pole vault. Anybody who was watching it today? Like, I'll be honest. I don't watch pole vault a lot, but there's a lot of really attractive women in that one today. Very athletic, but also very attractive. I was sitting, went for lunch, and there was two women at a table over, and both of them were like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? How come these women are so attractive? I don't know. But it's nice eye candy. Who doesn't like eye candy? And it's not just the win. Did you see the man who won from Australia? As Struddy would say, that's a good-looking man. Very much so. Guy had like really nice cheekbones. Like I suppose, now I didn't know this, but I was reading up online, and yeah, he's considered somewhat of a track hottie in the track and field world. So works both ways. Some men are more attractive, some women are more attractive. That's how it works. Everybody, and beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But it was something that stood out to me today for the pole vaulters. The only thing that was odd about the pole vaulting was why it took so long. There's a lot of unnecessary delays in that event, I noticed tonight. A lot of texts coming in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, the female pole vault is equivalent to male swimmers. My wife says the swimmers are the most attractive athletes from North Side Sandwich. See, there you go. The ladies like the swimmers. Now, the other thing I've noticed in swimming is the real evolution of how the swim trunk or the swimsuit, as we call it, has really changed. Right there, you don't have the banana hammocks very often anymore. Right, the Speedos, you don't see those very much anymore. I remember there was a way when they had the whole wetsuit issue, and then they felt the wetsuit was somewhat cheating. Right, so they did dial that back a little bit. So, yeah, you're always looking for different ways it's going to benefit it. Donovan Bailey was talking about now how the tracks are made. The tracks are made, and the spikes that they have, he's expecting someone to run like 950, 940 because of the technology that they're being given. Now, are they faster, or is the technology smarter to allow them to run quicker? It's kind of like hockey, a composite stick. You might be 40 years of age now, and you might shoot just as hard as you did when you're 20. Now, is it you, or is it the new stick rather than the 50-30, which, by the way, now, Connor Halley, you didn't play hockey growing up, did you?
No.
So you don't know the Sherwood 50-30. Anybody who played hockey in the 80s and 90s will know the Sherwood 50-30. It's a great-looking stick. The bottom sucked, though. It always would crack open too quickly over other sticks, I felt. But nonetheless. So I was in a hockey store the other day, and they had a wooden 50-30. I almost bought it just because of the nostalgia. But I'll tell you, I picked it up, and I'm like, this thing is a club compared to the new sticks now. Right? They're just so much lighter, but what they're made from allows you to be better. But the 50-30, like, I think I might go back and buy it because it was like $25. I just want to use it once in practice just to see. Can I still fling it or not? But that would be, let's shoot with the 50-30. Now, maybe the NHL guys are different, but I'd like to put them in with the gun, right? And see how hard they shoot with the composite stick and how hard they shoot with the wooden stick. For the elite, like Evan Bouchard, is his shot really going to be that dramatically different in velocity? I'd be curious. I just want to see it. That to me would be a fun competition. That's what they should do in the All-Star game. Let's see who shoots the hardest with the composite stick, and then let's see who shoots the hardest with the wooden stick. Right? Because it's going to be very different, but we'll see. Because the old adage, Cons, the stick doesn't make the player. The player makes the stick.
I was going to say, you take that to Your kids practice. Let them wield that for a little bit, then make the switch up. See how much that changes things. Building muscle.
That's very true. Hey, guys, my buddy uses the Woody in the men's league playing center. The stat he keeps is broken carbon sticks during faceoffs. Also, his wood stick breaks a lot of the carbon ones? What, because he's just hacking on the bottom? I need to know more. I'm very curious about this. Very curious. Hey, guys, no joke. I've never used anything other than a wood stick from Pillman. Pillman, I like that. I don't even know how old you are, but I have a really good guess. 50 plus, for sure. And there's nothing wrong with that. Celebrate it. The wood stick. Hey, guys, I still have the, I can't believe how many of you still have it. It's fantastic.
What did you graduate onto? Did you have the Easton Gretzky stick?
Honestly, I can't even remember. I went to, obviously you went to the two-piece,
Mm-hmm.
right? And remember your blade would break and then you have to pull the blade out and
yeah.
replace it sometimes. So I think my first one might have been a black or silver Easton. For some reason, that's what I remember. But that doesn't get, like, I also had the phase where, how many of you remember the Torspo? Remember when, now, for a while there, I think it was a Torspo, and it was rounded. It was unbelievable. Like, it was terrible. I remember trying it because I was just like, what's new? It's like the shaft was round. It was amazing. So.
And then, did you like that?
I don't recall. I don't know if I really did or not, but I liked having it just to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, I wasn't good enough to really know if it was making that much of a difference, but I do remember buying one. I got kind of sucked into the marketing. I'm like, oh, I got to try this. Like, who didn't have a red Titan after Gretzky played with the Titan in the 80s? Are you kidding me? Now, by the way, the Titan was the greatest road hockey stick ever. Because of the carbon base of the blade, it didn't splinter. It just would eventually wear down. And then you had like the toothpick. And anybody who played road hockey in the 80s and 90s knows exactly what I'm talking about. The toothpick. I'm like, here, I'm anybody who's watching on YouTube, what's that? 2 inches? That's what she said. But that's, you would get it down and man, you could fire a tennis ball with that bad boy. But it was the greatest road hockey stick because it was just like indestructible. You couldn't break it. So it was nuts. The Coho, I remember the Coho stick was quite popular back in the day. But the Sherwood 5030 was kind of like, you know what? It also had the blade and it had like the black line across it. Like that was a classy stick. Like nowadays, so my son, we go in the store and he's getting a jet speed. And I'm like, I don't even know what, like, I bought a stick. He's like, Dad, you need a new stick. I'm like, why? I think I've used the same stick, no joke, because I'm just coaching. It's not like I'm out there playing. I'm not taking hard face-offs. I'm not battling in the corners. I'm coaching the kids. So most of my coaching comes down to, touch passes, demonstrating some drills, and getting involved in the cardio skates. I'll shoot a few pucks here or there, but that stick should last forever. But it is starting to slowly peel away, probably just because it's drying out, because it's being so damn, even composite, I think, slowly dries out. But he's like, yeah, you need this stick or that stick. And I'm like, what? And then I look at the price and I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not playing. I don't need that good of a stick. I just don't need it. I got one that, hey, how's the curve? Can I stick handle enough so I can demonstrate the drill? It's pretty much what I need. But so he's in there. And nowadays you can go in and you can practice. You never used to be able to practice your shot to see if you like the stick. You'd buy the stick in the store and hope that you liked it. So that is a very smart thing. You go into the stores and they will have a shooting area and you can go and try out the stick, see if you like it. Now, you haven't cut it to your height, so I'm always somewhat curious if that's really going to help you or not. But hey, guys, the locker room sale is a good sale for brand new pro stock twigs from Josh. Oh, good little tidbit there, Josher. Hey, guys, the 50-30 Feather Light weighs the same as 3 jet speeds. Yeah, probably. Wouldn't doubt that. Hey, guys, I use the old Oiler stick and buy pro sticks with autograph for less than a stick at the store. Thanks, Jason Shamara from Buck. Oh, so he's got the chimmer. What are you missing the net with that bad boy, Buck? like, you're probably now when you stick handle the puck, does it turn into a triangle? Kind of like Chimmer, or is that Struds? Like who chipped off the rubber more? I'm not sure. We'll see. Although he did play 1,000 games, not bad. 1,100 games for Chimmer, but we can still chirp him. That stick must make you faster, though, because that's the one thing. That guy could fly. Woo. I would have loved to have seen him in like the NHL fastest skater competition in his heyday. I think I could have given a run for the money. When we return, we will we'll update you on some track qualifications today. Another medal for Canada, which is great. We'll talk some Oilers. And, here's my question for you. I promise you I'd ask you a question. Take your time. So in the last 5 seasons, 12 players have finished top 5 in scoring at least one time. Johnny Gaudreau, Huberdeau, Brad Marchand, Marner, Matthews, Kaprizov, they did it once each. So that's 6. So there's only 6 players who have finished top 5 multiple times in each of the last 5 years in the scoring race. Panarin did it twice. He finished 4th both times. Kucherov won last year, and then he finished 4th another year. He's only done it twice. Now, injuries obviously play a part for him. David Pasternak has finished top 5 3 times, 3rd, and 5th. Nathan McKinnon, top 5 3 times, 2nd, 5th, and 5th. There's only 2 guys. There's only 2 guys who've done it 4 times. Leon Draisaitl, 1st, 2nd, 4th. This past year was the first time he wasn't top 5. And then McDavid has been first, 2nd, and this past year he was 3rd. So McDavid all 5, Draisaitl 4, McKinnon, Pasternak 3, Kucherov, Panarin twice, and then Gaudreau, Huberdeau, Marchand, Marner, Matthews, Kaprizov. So my question to you, if you had to pick today, which 5 players will finish next season top 5 scoring in the National Hockey League? And will you have somebody who hasn't been there in the last 5 years? I just listed the 12. You can see my post on Twitter as well. So give me who you think are your top 5 in scoring race next year in the NHL. 833-401-1440. It is the Gregor Show live on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. And of course, big shout out to everybody watching on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Oilers Nation.
Rule number 37. Island mosquitoes don't believe in personal space. Keep bug spray ready at all times. Summer in Alberta has its own set of rules. And if you're looking to add a little extra fun, Play Alberta has it all. Use promo code SUMMER to snag a $50 casino bonus for casino, instant, and live dealer with your next deposit. Get ready for promotions throughout the summer to help you make the most of those sunny Alberta days. Because we all know they don't last long enough. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Be melancholy, not melancholy. Summer is ripe for fun, and some Booster Juice bestsellers are back in season. Watermelon smoothies, including the refreshing Watermelon Wave, a berry burst of strawberries, raspberries, pomegranate, and vanilla frozen yogurt. And fan favorites, Watermelon Explosion, a refreshing burst of bananas, mangoes, and pineapple, both made with watermelon sorbet and probiotic yogurt. All of the watermelon, none of the seeds. Visit a Booster Juice near you today or download the Booster Rewards app.
Island Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada with sports and entertainment properties including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Why tee off at the Ranch Golf and Country Club?
A fun, unique layout offering premier conditions. The ranch has been ranked as one of the top public courses in Canada.
Unmatched value. Score Golf Magazine rated the ranch as the best value in Edmonton.
The service, from tournaments to special events to the pro shop. Superior service that makes every visit exceptional.
The Ranch Golf and Country Club, a laid-back environment where anyone can enjoy an amazing day on the fairways. For details, visit theranchgolf.com.
The cheesy burger pizza is back at Papa John's. See what happens when you ask for it? Boom! Finally, it's on the menu again for a limited time. Get all the items in the Cheesy Burger Trio or choose between the large Cheesy Burger Pizza for $18.99, Cheesy Burger Papadilla for $9.99, and Bacon Cheesy Burger Papa Bites for $8.99. All made with sizzling beef, dilly pickles, ooey gooey cheese, and burger sauce. That's right, burger sauce. Get it before it's gone. Better ingredients, better pizza. Better get you some Cheesy Burger Pizza at Papa John's.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine, your one-stop shop for everything you need, from fishing rods and reels, tackle and boat accessories to motorcycle gear, water sport accessories to e-bikes. Find your more at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine.
And beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$227. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. Live on Twitter. As always, thanks where you're listening, you're watching, whether it's live. Some of you like to rewatch it, which is fantastic. Get the podcast. You rewatch it on Twitter or on YouTube. It's amazing. So thank you very much. It's always great to have you with us here on a lovely Wednesday afternoon. As mentioned, nobody's got it correct yet in our first repeat appearance guest in Who Is It Wednesday. Will join us at 3:00 today. We're getting an update on some new changes, or soon to be changes. Probably a better way to put it. So we'll get to that. Let's get to the oil report brought to you by VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. They are Canada's #1 Volvo dealership. And of course, they've got lots of hybrids. They've got, the new XC60 plug-in hybrid model if you want it, XC90s. I just had the S60. If you're looking for a car with a little bit of pep, you can get one of those at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. As we welcome to the show from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff, Tyler Yaremchuk. Ty, how's it going?
It is going good, Greg. I liked your conversation about the sticks earlier. I've been on that buying them from the Oilers store thing for so long. Like last year in my men's league, I was proudly using a Noel Hoffenmeyer stick that I found at one of their locker room sales for like $125. And it's like, again, like a $250, $300 stick.
Any goals in it?
Yeah, there were a few. More than Hoffenmeyer scored with the Condors.
Nice. Did it come signed?
No, that one was unsigned. For some of those guys, like the AHL guys, or they even have a few that are just like unmarked from camp. They're not signed.
Oh, okay. All right. So what kind of stick is it?
It is one of the new CCMs. I think it's like the Ultra Tac or whatever. And again, if you go to like whatever sports store you go to, like they're $300, which is, again, for me playing men's league, I like using a good stick that's light, but you also get bozos who run around trying to snap your stick in half, every other game. So I'm not spending $300 on it.
Are you telling me that guys come around and will purposely slash your stick in men's league to try to break it?
Oh, one of the funniest moments from last year. It was when I got this stick too. It was right before our playoffs started. And I'm going behind the net. And this guy was mad at me from something earlier in the game. And he comes around just two hands over the top to come over and check my stick. And I see the blade just disintegrate. And I was so mad. Then I looked, I'm like, wait, that wasn't my stick. He just broke his own stick over mine. It was the ultimate karma play.
Wow. That's like a real douchebag move. Huh. That's now what div are you playing in men's league right now?
It's like div 6 out of I think there's 12 or 14. So I'm like right in the middle of the pack, like not where guys should be going that hard.
I you know what I found, honestly? Because for many years when I was done playing hockey, we played in like div 1 and it was lots of guys who played hockey. So if somebody would rub each other out, it wasn't a big deal. And as I got older, and then my buddies, their teams, like I stopped playing because I was doing my show at night and I was missing too many games and it was annoying me. I'm like, I'm paying my entry fee, but I don't get to play. So I was out. So I'd sub the odd time. And by then they're in like Div 5 or 6. I found those divisions were way worse. You got guys out there who've never really played, or some of them haven't, and somebody touches one of them and they're freaking out. They got no balance. They all think they're tough, right? And then somebody, because they don't have any balance. So they might be tough off the ice, but they sure as hell aren't tough off the ice. I mean, on the ice, because they can't skate. And I was just like, I'm losing my marbles. I'm like, I'm out. I can't play this level. It's just, there is way more hacking and whacking and like guys running around rather than just being like, oh, the guy rubbed me out. No big deal. I was stunned by it. I thought it would be the opposite. Oh, there'll be less issues in the lower divisions because guys are like, well, hey, man, like I never really played anywhere, so I don't care. But it's actually the opposite.
Yeah, it's because the guy, what I find at least is like those really high divs, those guys have actually like played somewhere in their lives, so they know it's not that serious to be playing men's league. That some of the guys lower down, it's like, oh, this is the best hockey they've ever played. Like they take it seriously, and it can be a bit much.
Oh, it's crazy. What's been your go-to? Has anything stood out for you at the Olympics?
I've been really into, and it's mainly because my girlfriend's been watching it every day when I come home, but the beach volleyball, it is very fun to watch. The 2v2 beach volleyball, that one's highly entertaining, so that's good. I'm usually into the running stuff, and I was really into the Canadian men's basketball team. I watched all the games. I was fired up for that game against France. I thought they had a legitimate chance to like go up against the US and have like a good gold medal game, and then they flame out in the quarters, which is just heartbreaking. It's pissing me off still 29 hours after the fact.
Yeah, no, that was disappointing for sure. There's been a few other outcomes that, I think the Plouffe sisters in 3x3, they'll be disappointed. Although, they're very close games, but I think they felt going in that they could have performed better in the semifinals and finals. But that just shows in a one game off. Like that's what's great about any one game event is you got to be on your game that day or it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like a crazy mental test to be like, okay, you've worked however many years. And I know in basketball it's different because some of these guys are in the NBA. There's other things that you can go and win. It's maybe not the same as some of those more or some of those track events. But yeah, you need to be like so focused in on that one day. And that's actually probably what killed Canada in the men's basketball game was like things went bad for about the first 5 minutes of that game. And they couldn't get themselves sorted out till like halfway through the second quarter. It was brutal.
Yeah. Wow. I'll say this, the French made great coaching change, right? The three guys who didn't even start against Germany were dominating Canada in the first half. They had 35 points between the three of them, and Canada didn't have an answer inside, and they couldn't shoot from the outside. Like, you're not going to win when Jamal Murray has 7 points. It's just that simple.
Yeah, and he was trying to shoot his way out of that slump at points as well, where there was 2-3 straight possessions where it ends with him lobbing up a prayer three, and it's like there's no chance of going in because he was not feeling himself. So that was disappointing. Dylan Brooks had a bad game as well. He was a guy who's been good for Canada. So just so disappointing all around. But again, you have a team with that much talent that showed that much promise through the group stage. They played in one of the tougher groups and then just to completely crumble. I won't even say for the full game because I thought they were really, really good in the second half. But like that first half just puts you so far behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, 16-point deficit, really hard to overcome as Tyler Yaremchuk joins us. So Ty, I've been looking at last season and, Stan Bowman's press conference. I thought the one comment that really stood out to me was if you build your team based on last year for the next year, it's going to be tough because things change. And that got me thinking when I look at the Oilers power play, it's been obviously very good for a long time. It wasn't as great as they would have liked in the playoffs. And I wonder if we're going to see a reduction in the amount of time the first unit spends to open up the power play. Like if they're out there $120 if they don't score and like let's say they ice it, that's like obviously they're not, if you go in and they ice it with 50 seconds, I don't think they're going to come off. But if it's $120 and anytime I think they're going to come off, I think we will see shorter power plays for the first unit on average this season. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I could see that. I'm also curious about maybe the idea of trying to create some more balance between the two units. Now, like you're never going to take McDavid, Draisaitl, and Bouchard away from each other, but a guy like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was a good power play producer early in his career when there wasn't McDavid and Draisaitl on this team. And I wonder, like, is there one of these new guys? I don't know if it's Arvidsson or Skinner. And with Skinner, like as much as you're going, oh, his shot might be good on that power play. He's a lefty, just like Nuge, so he doesn't quite fully fit there. Like if Skinner was a righty, I'd be sitting there going, oh, throw that guy on the Nuge spot and see what can happen. But maybe if you want to build like a second unit that can actually contribute on a pretty consistent basis and get the opportunities, do you maybe move a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins down to that second unit, put him with some other pieces and be like, okay, like you're going to be the guy who works off the half wall on this unit, and you're going to be the facilitator of the offense instead of kind of the perimeter complementary piece you are on the top unit. So it'd be interesting, but I do still think like to start the year, running it back with that same 5-man unit that has set records, like that's not a bad play either.
Yeah. I look at, there's two things I think we're going to be a little bit different in the Oilers offense this year. Skinner and Arvidsson. Edmonton doesn't really have a lot of distance shooters, right? Draisaitl, now the one time on the power play, sure, but he's not a real distance shooter. Hyman definitely isn't. Nugent-Hopkins has a good shot, but he's not really a goal scorer if you look at his goal totals. Jeff Skinner can shoot from distance and score. Arvidsson's got a pretty good one-timer from distance. I think Edmonton's offensive attack 5-on-5 is going to have a few different wrinkles than we've seen simply because they're now going to have two guys who can shoot from distance at times.
Yeah, watching some of the Jeff Skinner like goal compilations that I have been over the last couple of weeks or since they signed him over the last month, like the amount of times he's been down by the goal line, sneaking pucks past goalies' shoulders. Like it is impressive to see the way he can shoot the puck. There are obviously concerns in his game. Like I don't think he's just going to waltz in, snap his fingers and score 35 goals in this Oilers offense or anything like that. But he gives them a totally different dynamic. And it's honestly one like, Evander Kane brought a little bit of that to the Oilers' top six, but how many times has Connor McDavid played with like a pure, true, high-end, shoot-first kind of guy? Like I know Draisaitl turns into that a little bit when he plays with McDavid, but it's not at the same level. Like Jeff Skinner can score from on top of the circles, and I think that could playing him with McDavid, like, man, it's tempting to just glue them together for the first 15 games of the season and be like, okay, figure out the chemistry because the parts and your guys' abilities line up in a way where like McDavid with his ability to distribute, Skinner shot, and if you have Zach Hyman crashing the net the way he does, like that has the potential, I think, to be the best line in hockey.
Yeah, Skinner as a shooter definitely is an intriguing one. Nugent-Hopkins and Draisaitl played well. I think Draisaitl and Arvidsson are for sure going to play together. I think the right wingers and the centers are pretty much locked in. It's McDavid and Hyman, and it's Draisaitl and Arvidsson for sure to start. And the left side is open. I wouldn't be surprised if we see different combinations at different times. No doubt. Evander Kane, if he's healthy, then he somehow gets in that mix as well potentially, and. Maybe Nugent-Hopkins and Henrique are playing together at times. So, but although I still don't expect, I'll be surprised if Kane's in the opening night roster. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'll see it when I believe it to see that he's healthy enough to do it. But the thing about Skinner is like Draisaitl was never a shot volume shooter, right? Skinner is not afraid to shoot the puck.
Yeah. And that's what I like about that idea again, is just someone that, even just his willingness to do it could open up other things as well. Like other teams are going to have to respect the fact that whenever Jeff Skinner has the puck on his stick, whether he is, like I said, or at the bottom of the circle, top of the circle, anywhere in between, like he will rip the thing and he's a threat to score from there. And I think just in a similar way to how putting a guy who can forecheck really well and push back the defense can totally open up different things for players like McDavid and Draisaitl, having to have whoever's on the ice for the other team always keeping an eye on where Jeff Skinner's floating around to, like that opens up other things for McDavid as well. I'm intrigued to see if, again, put a natural goal scorer or a natural shooter next to McDavid, they should produce more, could produce more. But what about McDavid's goal scoring himself? Like, is that something that could open up a little bit more? I think him being at 100% health, hopefully for the entire season, will help in that regard. But like his goal total got cut in half year over year from 64 to 32. I want to see him get back to that 45-50 goal range because I think this team is better when McDavid's shooting the puck and doing scoring himself.
Oh, I don't think there's any debate. I really think his core injury for much of the season limited, when he was shooting. I'll be stunned if he's not plus 40 goals this coming season. I'll be very surprised. So
yeah. There was I did an article last week at Oilers Nation about like just how high the ceiling is for this Oilers offense. And since the year 2000, there's only been one team who's finished a year with more than 4 goals per game, and it was the Florida Panthers in 2022-23. Second on that list, sorry, Panthers in 21-22. Second on the list is the Oilers in 2022-23, and that was McDavid with 60. Draisaitl was up there. Both Nuge and Hyman hit 35 goals, but they just had those 4 guys above 25 goals that season. You know, if you can get McDavid back up to the 50s, if Draisaitl's in the 50s again, even if Hyman falls back to somewhere in the 40s, can you get Nuge up from 18? Can you get Skinner to give you north of 25? Can Arvidsson give you north of 25? Like, if a few things break their way, I think the Oilers have a chance to be north of 4 goals per game this season.
I'll leave you with the question that I've asked all of our audience today. So I went back through the last 5 years in the NHL, and there's 12 players who have managed to finish top 5 in scoring at least once. Kaprizov, Matthews, Marner, Marchand, Huberdeau, and Goudreau did it once. Panarin and Kucherov twice. Pasternak and McKinnon 3 times. Draisaitl 4, McDavid 5. Who are your 5 players today who will finish top 5 in scoring next season?
I think the obvious one, and I saw your tweet, I was scrolling through some of the replies here. Jack Hughes is the easy one for me. Like, if I had to give a sneaky MVP pick for next year, it's Jack Hughes. I'm not sure what the odds are on it, but I think he's a little bit lower down on the odds board. But people forget that before he got hurt last year, he had rocketed to the top. He was the favorite to win the Hart Trophy for like 10 days before he got injured. He was shooting the lights out in New Jersey. And also there's the narrative thing with the Hart Trophy that, like, oh, if they get back to the playoffs, he's their best player. Shoe in for MVP. But I think Jack Hughes can absolutely get into that top 5 this season. If he plays all 82, he's a lock for 100 points in my eyes. And that right there, if you can get to 100 points, you can get into the top 5. So I like Jack Hughes to be up there a little bit. I think he can even be in that 115, 120 range if things go his way. So Hughes is my pick, but I recognize that one is a little bit of an obvious pick because a lot of people have been saying it. If I had to give you a pick of someone who's going to fall out, I wonder how Nikita Kucherov produces this year in Tampa Bay. No Steven Stamkos. There are pieces around him that are still getting older. Like, I don't know. Maybe this is a year where Kucherov takes a step back. Guy like Hughes takes his spot as sort of the perennial top 5 guys.
Yeah, he's got to stay healthy. That's going to be, and he was red hot to start. And then he got hurt. Then when he came back, he was okay. But he wasn't even a point a game player, I think, when he came back because he was red hot. I can't remember what his total was, but he was almost like a 1.8, 1.9 point per game player early on. And he finished with 74 and 62. He did have 99 points in 2023. So it's, Jack Hughes doing it for the first time in his career would make sense. I'm kind of surprised Kucherov's only ever done it twice. Now, the 1 year, obviously, he didn't play. So, that obviously impacts it a little bit. But, Nathan McKinnon 3 times. Very quietly, David Pasternak. I say quietly because he never really gets talked about. People are like, oh, look at Matthews. I'm like, yeah, look at Pasternak. The last 5 years, he has 1 fewer point than Matthews. He scored 60 goals, scored 50 goals. Like, he's a pretty damn good player. Doesn't really get the same mentions as often as some of the other top guys.
Yeah, and I think part of it, not that Matthews doesn't also play with other talented players, but Brad Marchand grabs so many of the headlines for usually his other antics in Boston. Before that, Patrice Bergeron was the face of the franchise. So yeah, you're right. He's always kind of gotten lost in the shuffle of, not being the guy who's always talked about on his team. And then around the league, he was in that weird subset of he doesn't play in a Canadian market, so he doesn't get brought up as much. Let me throw one more name into the mix here. Would you give Connor Bedard any shot of getting into that top 5? I thought about it, and I looked at the Hawks roster. I think it's a year too soon to think he can be in that 100-point range and then get into the top 5. But what do you think on Bedard?
Yeah, like McDavid got 100 points his second season in the league, and I think he's a better player than Bedard. So I don't see Bedard in top 5, and I don't see him at 100 points. Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. I do think it's about 1 year premature, but you never know.
No. Did you ever use the Titan toothpick blade? Or are you too young for that?
No, I'm too young for that. My whole life, again, I was born in 97. So by the time I was playing organized hockey, everything was composite sticks.
Oh, buddy, you missed out. The Titan was the greatest road hockey stick of all time. Indestructible. The toothpick blade, it would wear down, but it would never break. It was amazing. The greatest greatest stick ever, if you want to go top shelf, was the toothpick Titan in road hockey. They should bring that stick back just so kids could use it in road hockey. Dynamite.
Yeah, I remember having the sticks where, you'd play road hockey for summer with them, and by the end, they're just like that. Then, but you were used to it as it wore down that you could just keep shooting with it.
Yeah, it was amazing. Totally. That's why it's graded out. People could nowadays, are, oh, my stick. And I'm like, what are you talking about? We used to play with a blade that was like an inch thick, and we loved it. So come on, don't give me that. The player makes the stick. The stick doesn't make the player.
Absolutely.
There we go. Ty, have a great day, my man. We'll chat with you next week.
Thanks, Riggs.
There you go. That's Tyler Yaremchuk. Joins us every Wednesday here on Sports 1440. Got a lot of texts, a lot of good guesses on who is going to be top 5. Gregor, I have to say I'm surprised at how few guys have been top 5. Not surprised. McKinnon and Draisaitl have done it the most. That one comes from Doug. Yeah, only 12 players in the last 5 years have managed to be in the top 5 at least once. 6 of them did it one time. Then you had a few guys twice, few guys 3 times. Draisaitl, McDavid 4 and 5 respectively. Quick break. We'll come back, get to a lot of those texts. Your thoughts on that and more. Disappointing day in the 200 meter for Canada. We'll update you on that and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Need a new AC, furnace, duct cleaning, or water treatment system? Save up to $2,500 on a complete system and get a 12-year parts and labor warranty with Modern Air and Water. Your Air Ease Pro dealer at modernairwater.com.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
What's new at Vision RV? Too much to tell you in 30 seconds, but I'll do my best. Larry Ricci here. And at Vision RV, the beautiful brand new 2024s have arrived. Have they ever? Ultra-modern designs, unparalleled comfort, and the technology out of this world. We also have a great selection of pre-owned units priced to move today. So why not bring your family and get to know the Vision family? We're open 7 days a week, just south of the Yellowhead on Highway 60.
Move Water is your one-stop shop for all things water. From freshwater to wastewater, we've got the pumps and solutions to keep your water moving where it matters most.
Move Water, your water solution experts.
Visit movewater.ca today.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price starting at $1 plus tax for a small. It's great if you love great tasting coffee. $1 small premium roast coffee every single day. Must be McCafe. Plus tax at participating restaurants in Canada. Excludes delivery.
Maximize your car's lifespan by performing regular maintenance services. Visit Mr. Lube for warranty-approved oil change, scheduled maintenance, and tire service. Open 7 days a week, no appointment needed. Mr. Lube in Spruce Grove is located at the corner of Century Road and McLeod Avenue, or visit MrLube.com.
Summer adventures are more fun in a new Mitsubishi from Cross Mitsubishi.
Home of the largest 2024 Mitsubishi inventory in Western Canada.
All this month, get 0% financing on all 2024 Mitsubishi models.
Plus, get up to a $3,000 trade-in bonus.
And double the loyalty rebate for all existing Mitsubishi owners, up to $1,000.
Visit Cross Mitsubishi today and drive your ambition.
9605 34th Avenue and crossmitsubishi.ca.
Back in 1955, man didn't know about a rock and roll show. No, that guy.
Seven, welcome back. Wednesday edition of the Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. Man, Brian texted in some pictures of his old 50-30 as well as a Christian Superlight 5000. Oh, my God. Remember the crit? Now, Cons is well before your time, but the Christian sticks, man, those were unbelievable. Now, of course, the Christian brothers played in the NHL, but they had their whole line of sticks. God. And remember, sometimes, like, it would start to go and you'd have that strip that would kind of pull off the stick. Oh, it was unreal. On the top or the bottom, it was just like a strip. I don't even know what the proper term was, but those are some amazing old school sticks, Brian. I love it.
Yeah, after Googling this one, I know this from friends' garages, like their dad's old sticks we play street hockey with.
Oh, yeah.
I'm aware of these bad boys.
Oh,
yeah.
Buddy, those are amazing. I love that people still keep those sticks. That is stellar. I don't have any of those. But I'll tell you, if they should go retro and just bring back all the sticks, you'd buy one, 100%. I do. Hey, guys, I was one of those kids who went to the ODR every night and worked on my shot. I used many sticks, but when I finally discovered the white and yellow Bauer 3000 with the big flex, it changed my shot. I had a hammer of a slap shot after that. Was disappointed when they discontinued them. Greatest stick ever made from Trailer Park Ryan. Oh, the Bauer 3000. Whew, we're really going back in time now. I love it. It's outstanding. Yeah, you get a good stick. Whew, how could you not like it? It's great. So who is it Wednesday? No one's got it yet. So as mentioned, this will be our first repeat appearance in Who Is It Wednesday. It's a former Edmonton Oiler. Right? We'll be talking about an upcoming change for them. Also, we'll be discussing playoffs and a new team. That should give it away. 833-401-1440 coming up in Who Is It Wednesday. Guys, these are some unreal memories. I was all over the TPM 2020. That one comes in from Dale. Well, Dale, you and a few others, IMAC and Paul and Steve, all into the TPM's 2020. I'll be honest, I got to look up the TPM 2020 because I don't remember that one. TPM 2020. Oh, the Titan. Oh, you guys call it the TPM? I just called it Titan. Wow. It's the white one. You guys are really, really official. I just called it a Titan. I never knew it was a TPM 2020. All right. There we go. Hey, guys, is it Randy Gregg? No, it is not. But he would have been. We'll get the doctor on again for sure. Of course, Riverhawks playoffs. We're still waiting to find out the official schedule for that. Probably should know after tonight's tilt between those two teams because they're going to they're going to meet on the weekend, but the Riverhawks will wrap up their season tonight. No,
tonight. Yep,
it is tonight,
and then they play Saturday.
But has it been determined if it's here yet or not?
It will be here.
It will be here
game
for sure.
2 will be in Bellingham, and game 3 there if necessary.
Okay, so they've sorted that out.
Yeah, 7:00 Saturday night.
All right. Well,
doors at 5:30 for those who want to go party.
Ooh, yeah, get in there. Should be a lot of fun. Hey guys, Easton all the way. Yeah, but which one? Because there's lots of different Easton sticks. So I remember. I actually I was a big fan of the black coho for a stretch of my life. I remember when they'd bring out sticks just in different colors. That in itself was appealing as a kid. Just liked it for the color of the stick more than anything else. Hey, guys, what about the TPS rubber black and yellow from JP? Oof. The black Christian stick, guys, you could really lay the lumber. That thing was a twig. Have you seen the aluminum shed wood 5030 that looks wood? Well, I have seen the aluminum one that looks like a wood stick, but it is actually the 5030, but it's a composite. I have seen that one. But they actually have wood composite, not wood. Not composite, but actually wood Sherwood's 5030s. They're like $26. Might want to buy it just to say you have one. Go back in time. We're getting a lot of guesses. Kelly Buckberger. No, not Big Bucky. Not, well, he'll be on again, but not today. Hey, guys, that old Coho silver fiber was a beauty. Yes. Yes, Mike. Silver fiber. I like it. Hey, guys, do you recall, did the Titan ever have a two-piece? Oof. Steve? Now, I'm going to say no, but I could easily be wrong. I don't recall it. I definitely never used it. Any of you remember a Titan two-piece? I don't think so. Cons, look it up. Was there a Titan two-piece? I don't ever remember seeing one.
Looks like when they went aluminum.
Yeah.
They had one.
They had a Titan aluminum stick? What? That is great. Can't believe it.
Yeah. So they made it, and then it was for Gretzky. Sorry, the Titan originally. And then when he switched the Easton two-piece, they stopped making them, I guess. Or he stopped. So sorry, I don't think they did.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Now, I will tell you, Gregor, I do have a Titan red and black stick autographed by the 1990 Oilers Stanley Cup team.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's a little bit of an heirloom at this point, but we do have one.
Now, how'd you get that?
I want to say it was my dad had a student at the time who worked around the team.
Okay.
Got it signed, gave it to my grandpa for a gift, who passed away, left it for me.
Oh, that's what you got in the will, was the stick.
So the autographed Titan. I'll also take a picture of that.
Ooh. Nice.
Yeah.
Is it in good shape?
Yeah, hasn't been used. Wasn't allowed to take that one out for street hockey, unfortunately, growing up, but
Well, no, that's understandable.
yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll have to track that one down tonight, maybe get a pick.
Got a lot of Warren Fogle guesses as well. Not Fogle. But I think finally, Pete got it correct. Pete, congratulations. You are the first person to guess Who Is It Wednesday. I'll tell you who it is next when they join us. Former owner, Who Is It Wednesday. Trust me, this will be a fun interview. Have a few laughs. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice. And it is back, baby. The watermelon explosion has returned for the summer at Booster Juice. You can download the Boosters Reward app and order yours today only at Booster Juice.
The Sports 1440 update.
Canada's Alicia Newman has won bronze in the women's pole vault at the Paris 2024 Games, setting a new national record and a personal best by clearing the 4.85 meters. Newman claims Canada's 19th medal at the Games as Canada continues to close in on their Tokyo total of 24. Canadian sprinter Andre DeGrasse will not repeat as a 200-meter gold medalist after he failed to advance out of the semifinal. After the race, DeGrasse revealed he had a hamstring injury that first surfaced a month ago. He only missed a week of training before re-aggravating it this week. In the association, Utah Jazz forward Lauri Markkanen signing a new 5-year extension with $238 million, including $220 million in new money. The former 7th overall pick had 1 year left on his current contract worth $18 million. Major League Baseball, Vlad and the Jays look to keep it going tonight when they take on the Orioles. Vlad had an 18-game hit streak. First pitch, 5:07. Elsewhere, Royals host the Red Sox. The Mets in Colorado. Dodgers take on the Phillies. Earlier today in Game 1 of their doubleheader, the Diamondbacks knocked off the Guardians 7-3. Game 2 going on right now. Diamondbacks leading 2-1. The Yankees right now have a 3-0 lead over the Angels in Game 1 of their doubleheader. Also, White Sox lead the Athletics 2-0. Astros up on the Rangers 5-3. And the Twins trail the Cubs 8-2 heading into the 9th. The Edmonton Riverhawks are in action tonight, wrapping up their regular season, taking on Nanaimo. Just after 8 o'clock Mountain Time, they'll kick off their postseason with their first ever playoff game Saturday 7 o'clock, with doors opening at 5:30 with the Bellingham Bells in town. Game 2 and 3, if needed, will go in Bellingham. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, it's another edition of Who Is It Wednesday. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
The summer road lays ahead. Your potential destinations are endless. Volvo Cars Edmonton gives you choice to match. Right now, lease a 2024 Volvo XC90 from 0% for qualifying loyal customers, or save $7,000 on all new 2024 XC60 recharge plug-in hybrid models. All demo vehicles come with a free 10-year, 1 million kilometer warranty. No matter what you decide this summer will become, your first choice is Volvo Cars Edmonton. VolvoCarsEdmonton.com, 1205 101 Street Southwest.
The Cheesy Burger Pizza is back at Papa John's. See what happens when you ask for it? Boom! Finally, it's on the menu again for a limited time. Get all the items in the Cheesy Burger Trio, or choose between the large Cheesy Burger Pizza for $18.99, Cheesy Burger Papadilla for $9.99, and Bacon Cheesy Burger Papa Bites for $8.99. All made with sizzling beef, dilly pickles, ooey gooey cheese, and burger sauce. That's right, burger sauce. Get it before it's gone. Better ingredients. Better pizza. Better get you some Cheesy Burger Pizza at Papa John's.
Sunday afternoon, your Edmonton Elks host the BC Lions for Country Day. Yeah! Before the game, there'll be country music and tailgate, a petting zoo for the kids, and cowpokes can ride the mechanical bull to win prizes. Tickets and more at GoElks.com.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price starting at $1 plus tax for a small. It's great if you love great tasting coffee. $1 small premium roast coffee every single day. Must be McCafe. Plus tax at participating restaurants in Canada. Excludes delivery.
Modern Air and Water is your source for AC, furnace, duct cleaning, and water purification systems.
Get a 12-year parts and labor warranty and save up to $2,500 on a complete new system. Contact your Lennox Premier dealer at modernairwater.com.
The red hot summer savings continue with Fairways to Heaven. Next, we're off to Cattail Crossing Golf and Winter Club. On Monday, August 12th, you and a friend can join us for only $60 with Power Cart. I'm serious. Only $60 per twosome with cart. You'll love the layout of Cattail Crossing's Par 72 course, designed to challenge beginners and low handicappers alike. And if you can't join us, you can still enter this season's grand prize draw for a $1,500 prepaid visa from the Golf Cart people. For entry info and to reserve your tee time, go to k97fairways.ca. But don't wait. Space is limited and booking fast. Fairways to Heaven.
Diablo Boots has been open for business for 60 years, selling Canadian-made quality boots. Diablo has Canada West work, biker, and cowboy boots with fixable soles and heels. So why buy boots like Ariat, Justin, or Red Wing that are made in China? Get your money's worth with Diablo's Canada West tough, comfortable work boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. And does Diablo sell the best boots in town? You betcha. You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
You can tweet out the just after 3:00. How are you on a lovely Wednesday afternoon? The Sidney Crosby's birthday was funny. All the people in Pittsburgh were like, "Oh, the Penguins are going to announce his extension on his birthday." Did not happen. No contract extension today for Sidney Crosby. That might have been a little too corny, don't you think? Like, he's got a lot of 87s. Does he need to announce his extension on his birthday? No, I don't think so. Like, I've said it before. Long term for the Penguins and Crosby, him signing somewhere else would actually be better. They're not going to be competitive. If he wants to be competitive, he goes somewhere else. And you know what? That guy would get a boatload in a trade at the trade deadline if they wanted it. So just food for thought. Nobody looks bad on Ray Bourque for not finishing his career in Boston. I don't think anybody does. Most people are like, yeah, it was awesome. It's Hall of Famer. It's all that matters. Sidney Crosby, no one's ever going to forget what he did in his first 19 seasons in Pittsburgh. 19. He's been in the league. That is crazy time. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Female Super League, the FSL. It's designed to elevate female youth hockey, provide a platform for 12U and 14U players to develop and improve their skills. Learn more at femalesuperleague.com. And our next guest on Who Is It Wednesday, it's our first repeat guest. It's a big deal. Of course, he was a 7th-round draft pick of the Edmonton Oilers in 2016, has spent his entire career in the Oilers organization, but in September, he will lace it up for the first time in another organization as he signed a free agent contract with the Vancouver Canucks. Vincent Desharnais from the Canucks, so I guess first time as a Canuck, joins the show. Big V, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Hey, I'm all right. Vincent Desharnais, Vancouver Canuck. Is that taking some getting used to for you?
For sure. It took a little bit to get used to it. I messed up a few times during some interviews saying Edmonton instead of Vancouver, but no, it's gonna be. I actually skated for the first time last week and put on the gear for the first time and different shades of blue. But no, I'm excited for sure. It's gonna be fun.
So we'll get to all hockey, and we also got to do an update because I'm looking at your locks, and you have them. Jeez, look at that mess, eh? It's unbelievable. Whew.
There's a lot of hair.
There is a lot
of hair.
When's the official shave coming off?
It's Saturday. Saturday at 12. It's happening.
So now, for anybody watching or listening, where can they go to make a donation? Because you can win like McDavid jersey. Do you have any Canuck jerseys yet, or is this still all Oilers stuff?
No, it's all Oilers. So Oilers fans, let's go. Let's keep going. Hey, for 2 more days. Help me out for 2 more days. But yeah, so there's a Gretzky signed jersey, there's a McDavid jersey, and there's a Coffee jersey. So for every donation of $50, you get an entry for a draw. So if you donate $250, you get 5 entries. So we try for people to donate a little bit more so that we can raise more money, and it's all for a great cause. So it's been really cool to try to raise money for this cause and see how people jumped in and everyone was willing to help out. So it's been really awesome.
So where is the easiest way for them? Just go to your Instagram page. Is that right?
Yeah, Instagram or Facebook. The links are on there. So you just click on it, and from there it's pretty easy. Once you get on the website, it's pretty simple. But yeah, on my Instagram or on my Facebook page.
So you've been growing that out now for a year. I think this is the second time you've done it. Remind our listeners, what's the cause and the viewers for?
Yeah, so it's the 3rd time in 6 years that I'm doing it, and so it's called the Shaved Head Challenge. It's for a charity that is called Le Camp. So it's a charity in Quebec, and they support kids and their families that are going through cancer. So kids from 0 to 17 years old that get diagnosed with cancer. Le Camp will reach out to them and see what they need. Sometimes it's going to be they're going to need a car. Sometimes they're going to need treatment. Sometimes they're going to need money for food. Sometimes they're going to need appointments to go to a therapist. Sometimes they're going to need support after post cancer to kind of get back to their regular life. So Le Camp kind of just helps the whole family, even the parents, the brothers, the sisters, to kind of make the whole situation of dealing with cancer a little bit easier. And I think it's such a great cause. And growing up, I never had to deal with that. No one told me one day, hey, you're gonna have to lose your hair. Like, you won't have hair for a while, or you're gonna have to spend 3 months at the hospital going through chemo treatments, and you're gonna be nauseous and dizzy for 3 months. Like, just little things like that. I think that I try to put myself in those parents' shoes and those kids' shoes, and it must be awful. So for me to support that cause, it goes a long way, and I think it helps lots of families, lots of kids to make that horrible experience just a little bit better. So thank you, and by the way, I want to say thank you to all the Oilers fans who have donated already. It's been when I came on your show a few months ago, like, the fans were unbelievable, and I really appreciate it. And I want to say thank you, because the fans definitely helped me to get to my goal, and it's been really cool.
Vincent Desharnais joins us. Now, when we talked to you the first time, you had all the McDavid stuff. There's still no Vinny Desharnais jersey. Like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, I know.
You might gotta throw one in there, buddy.
Maybe I might remove Gretzky's, and I might put mine instead.
Who the hell is Wayne Gretzky? That guy even played? Come on.
But the issue is that the Oilers fans won't donate if I put a Canucks jersey in there. They won't donate at all. So.
Well, yeah, that's true. But you must have don't you have do you have any Vinny Desharnais Oilers game worn jerseys? Do you have any of your jerseys that you played in? Okay.
Yeah. I kept probably 3 or 4.
Okay.
3. I have 3. I have 3 for sure. I have my first game. I have the Heritage Classic, and I have a Stanley Cup. I mean, three pretty legit jerseys that no one is touching, no one is seeing. Those are mine, and I'm keeping them for myself.
Well, the Heritage Jersey game is also when you scored, so it's an extra bonus.
Yeah.
Nice. Vincent Desharnais joins us, a member of the Vancouver Canucks now, but Oilers fans, don't worry, he still loves you. You can help out the charity, and Oilers fan, they can put away the rivalry. It will be difficult. I know you're a real big fan favorite, Vinny, with a lot of Edmonton fans. You sign in Vancouver. Take me through that process for you. And were you ever close to re-signing in Edmonton? You know, and was it at all a thought in your mind, like, oh, I'm going to like one of our biggest rivals?
I mean, I said it during the season. I said it after the season. I want to stay in Edmonton. I've been part of the Oilers for 8 years. I've been bleeding Oilers. I've been bleeding orange. Like, it's been Oilers ever since I got drafted. But it's also a business, and it's probably the aspect I like the least about hockey is the business aspect, because it's I don't know, it just takes away all the emotions, and it's just numbers, and it's not real life in my opinion. But that's the business I'm in, so I just had to deal with it. And obviously you think about it, you're like, okay, well, if I go to Canucks, I'll be playing them for quite a bit. And but then after you think about it, you're like, well, it could have been worse. It could have been Calgary. So I'm like, I mean, Vancouver is not as bad as Calgary, so we'll take it. But obviously, it's going to be weird to play against the boys next season. I went to Connor's wedding 2 weeks ago, and seeing all the boys, it was so cool to see how happy they were for me, how excited they were. But it was also very sad it was kind of like the last times that we would spend together and not hit each other and try to slash each other. So I was very thankful for my time in Edmonton. I'm gonna miss it so much. I'm gonna miss the boys mostly, miss the fans, and that too. I mean, I posted on Instagram to thank Oil Country, and I got probably over 600 messages or comments on it, and they were all positive. And sometimes we always say, oh, like social media, they're negative, everyone's negative, but I want to thank the fans, because it was so heartwarming, and it was a tough decision for me, but seeing how happy like everyone was for me, it was really nice. It was a little bit of a I don't know, it just made me feel a little bit better about it, because there was not a situation that I liked. It's not nice to change like that, but seeing how the fans reacted and how my old teammates reacted to it was very heartwarming, and made me feel a little bit more comfortable with my decision.
Vincent Desharnais joins us, and you know what? I think the fans here, they understand the business side of it. They'll, they love you now until you play, and then suddenly, if you hit McDavid, well, that's going to change really quickly. But which of your former teammates are you expecting will be chirping you the most when you play head to head?
Probably Nursey. Probably Nursey. We chirped each other a little bit already. He's like, all right, I'll see you in the corner. I'll be there. I'll be waiting.
Well, D on D corner, that doesn't happen very often. So unless, I guess, maybe one of you is rushing the puck, right?
It won't be me. It's going to be Nursey.
Now, when you sign in Vancouver, did you have a conversation with Rick Tocchet? Like I hear Rick Tocchet, guys love playing for him. He's very intense. Like he's a coach who, how he played the game was tough and rugged, and it would seem like, oh, this guy would really appreciate how Vincent Desharnais plays the game.
Yeah, the GM and Talk and Adam Foote, they called me before I signed. So when they made me an offer on July 1st, they wanted to talk to me as well. So I had a great conversation then. And then last week we had another great conversation. And like you said, I don't know him that well yet, but just from talking to him 20, 30 minutes, both times, I just seems like a easy guy to talk to. And he seems like a fair guy where he's intense. He's gonna ask for a lot. He's gonna demand for a lot. But if you give it to him, he's rewarding. He's gonna reward you for doing what he asked for. And Working with Adam Foote too, I'm very excited. I've heard nothing but positive comments about him, positive things of how detailed he is as a D coach, and how he uses video quite a bit for players, for D-men to get better. So I think the coaching staff was a great fit for me, and being able to talk to them beforehand really made it easier for me to pick the Canucks. It's going to be and actually a thing I was thinking about too, like when I signed, is the whole season, every time we would play Vancouver, the guys be, not Vancouver again. Like, they're so intense, they're so like hard to play against, they're always in your face. And in playoffs we saw it. It was probably the team that gave us the most challenge, the biggest challenge of the first three series. So I mean, for me to go play for a team like that kind of matches my style of play, my mentality. They're very hard to play against defensively. They're mean. They're physical. So I'm excited to just get going with them, get to know the players, and get to know the coaching staff as well.
Vinny, I know you talked a lot about when Paul Coffey came in and how he really instilled a lot of confidence in you by, hey man, like, here's highlights. Nurse can make a rush. Bouchard can make a rush. Desharnais can make a rush. And, I expect you to make plays. And, you said it was great to have that. And it was something that, at times maybe it was your confidence held you back a little bit from doing it. But have you put more of an emphasis in your off season on improving your puck skills and making more plays? So, now that, even though you're on a different team, you're like, hey, I can make plays in the NHL. I just don't have to go off the boards and out.
Yeah, I think I'm just more confident. Like I said last week when I skated, like I just felt like my puck play was a little bit better already, just because I was confident. I didn't really work on, yet. I haven't worked on it that much yet, but obviously for the rest of the summer, I'll be working on it quite a bit. But once you get that confidence in you, I think that the rest of the work is a lot easier, because it's in me. I've worked on it throughout the whole season. And I'm excited to work with a different D coach too, because he's going to bring something else to me. I've worked with, and it's pretty cool to say that I have my three D coaches so far in the pros are Dave Manson, Paul Coffey, and Adam Foote. I'm like, that's a pretty good resume. That's a pretty good. So it's really cool. And they were three totally different players when they were playing. So I feel like I got what I needed from Mance, and then I got what I needed from Koff. And now I'm going to Adam Foote, who's going to bring something completely different to my game. And I know I have more to bring. I know my ceiling, I haven't reached it yet. I haven't reached my ceiling. I think I'm just beginning. I think you give me 2 or 3 more years, I'll be even better. I'll keep working hard. I'll keep my foot speed, my puck skill, and if I have my confidence, I think I'm gonna be just fine. And especially with having those 3 coaches and all those all that experience that is given to me.
Vincent Desharnais joins us. Vinny, you've mentioned confidence quite a bit, and it's such a huge part of the game, right? Like, I'm sure you've had confidence at every other level, but you get to the NHL and it's like, now it's the best of the best, man. And it's not just like, like maybe McDavid and those guys come in and that's a little bit different, but for like the 90% of the players in the league, for the first part, you're just like, I'm just trying to keep my head above water here. And, I don't want to drown. I just want to survive. And it sounds like you're kind of past that point. Now you're like, you know what? I'm on top of the surfboard. I'm not necessarily just swimming out paddling to try to stay and catch the wave.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And I think that's kind of what I've been doing everywhere I've been. When I got to juniors, it was kind of the same thing. At first, I was just like, I just got to play. I just got to get in the lineup and play. And then once I play, it's like, okay, now I got to be a regular. Okay, and then I went to college, kind of did the same thing. I was scratch at first, and then you play a couple of games. Once you play a couple of games, you don't play to make plays. You play not to make mistakes. And then you get more comfortable. And, throughout 4 years, I got better and got to the pros, and kind of the same thing. And I think that, getting to the NHL is obviously a big step. So, but I think that's kind of what I did in the last, I feel like I got called up 2 seasons ago. And then I would say around halfway through this season, like the last season, Like the second half of last season, I felt a lot more comfortable. There was kind of a switch. Well, Koff definitely helped with that, but there was kind of a switch of like, okay, I'm here. I'm an NHL player now. You know, it's not I'm a bubble guy. I might be in between. I might be scratched. I might be sent down. Like I'm like, no, I'm an NHL guy. I know what I can do. I know I can bring something that teams need, and I know my role. I found my role in this league, and I know I can do this role for 4, 5, 6 more years, hopefully. So it's I'm excited to have a new start somewhere else where now I know what's my kind of my recipe, my winning recipe for myself, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on.
Vincent Desharnais joins us. Vinny, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more here on Who Is It Wednesday. Former Oiler, member of the Vancouver Canucks, Vincent Desharnais on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
What's cracking at Cattail Crossing? Every Friday after 4 p.m., it's 9 and Dine Fridays. Includes golf for 2 with a power cart at Cattail Crossing and a $50 food voucher at Out of Bounds Restaurant. Only $119.99. Tea times can be booked at cattailcrossing.ca.
When you start,
Rule number
Since a
62.
former Oiler,
Never miss a
I'm going to be
weekend
focusing on
breakfast. It's unheard of and frankly a little upsetting. Summer in Alberta has its own set of rules. And if you're looking to add a little extra fun, Play Alberta has it all. Use promo code SUMMER to snag a $50 casino bonus for casino, instance, and live dealer with your next deposit. Get ready for promotions throughout the summer to help you make the most of those sunny Alberta days, because we all know they don't last long enough. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Move Water is your one-stop shop for all things water. From freshwater to wastewater, we've got the pumps and solutions to keep your water moving where it matters most.
Move Water, your water solution experts.
Visit movewater.ca today.
Hey, Elks fans.
Jackpot! Touchdown!
Get on the Elks party bus for every home game at On the Rocks for only $35.
Included is a game ticket, round-trip transportation, and a prepaid Coors Light.
Reserve your spot now at ontherocks.com.
And OTR is your go-to for every Euro Cup game.
With $5.25 Heineken.
Their first major trophy.
It's the ultimate football experience.
Canadian or European.
Only at On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Introducing the Female Super League. Female hockey is on the rise with more women playing the game than ever. Join us as we pave the way for the future of women's hockey. The FSL is more than a game. It's a movement and an experience for the motivated female athlete. Teams will compete in a showcase-style format featuring consistent interprovincial competition. Come be part of the journey as the 2024-25 season unveils a 12U division, as well as the launch of a groundbreaking progressive body-checking 14U division. For more information, visit femalesuperleague.com.
Yo no soy marinero.
3:23. We return on a Wednesday afternoon. Our big guest of the day today, a member of the Vancouver Canucks, Vincent Desharnais. Once again, Vinny's going to be shaving off that mop on the top of his head here on Saturday. Look at that thing. You could get it. You could be in a band right now, right? You
Seriously, a punk rock band, and just kind of couple head shakes.
Oh yeah, 100. Look like you're like a bass guitarist.
Yeah. It's getting pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of excited to be like you. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Buddy, you know what? It's. I remember. I know because you were laughing at me earlier in the season when I
sure was. I sure was laughing at you.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest here. Yours looks a lot better than mine did. That was a bad. And really, I blame you guys for losing that game. So, against San Jose. So it was really your fault. Although that loss seemed to turn your whole season around in a weird about way.
Sometimes that's what you need to get the Game 7 Stanley Cup Finals.
It's very true. Very true. Vincent Desharnais. Now, Vinny, I know most, you know what, it's obviously it's gutting to lose in the Stanley Cup final. Obviously in Game 7, I can't imagine it's even harder. But is there any time, do you ever look back and be like it was a lot of fun up until that one game, right? Like, is there still able to see the fun of the run?
I mean, looking back at it, like it's still like the whole thing is fun. Like you have to see it that way, in my opinion. Like I never thought in my life, I dreamed about it, but I never thought in my life that I would be living like a Game 7 Stanley Cup Finals. Like it's surreal. And like the whole, like all the emotions that go through the whole game, like it was so fun to watch the game, and so like stressful, intense, and obviously you lose, and it's one of the worst pains that you feel. Like it feels like, you know, a family member that's really, really close to you just died. Like it just, you feel so helpless, and you think about, okay, so the last 10 months were for nothing. Like that's kind of how you see it at the end of the day. But looking back at it, like taking a few weeks off, they kind of turn the hockey aspect off and going back to it, and going back to the gym and talking to the guys and seeing the guys so happy. Man, congrats on the season, so cool! Wow, Stanley Cup Finals, like, and then you kind of, it gives you a different perspective of, okay, maybe I got to see the big picture of like, yes, we did lose. It was one of the worst losses in my career. But at the end of the day, I went to the Stanley Cup Finals Game 7, and we played Team Dallas that finished, one of the best offense in the whole league, beat them in 6. Like you just go back, you look back, losing 3-2 against Vancouver, boom, come back, win 7, like just things like that. Like starting with whatever the record was, 2-12 or whatever, like being last in the league and finishing, how we did. Just all those little moments that, looking back at it, I'm so proud of it, so proud of the team, and it was fun. It was a fun experience. The whole thing was so fun, and yes, it was negative at the end, but at the end of the day, looking back, it was all positive, and it's just I like to say it's just another experience. It was a hell of a great experience, but it's just another experience.
Vinny, the fact that, there were so many different guys, I think they're only up being like 9 players who played every game in the playoffs. Like you had depth on that team and guys rotated in and out, and everybody wants to play, right? Like there's no doubt that everybody wants to play. How hard is it to kind of park that competitive nature and be a really good teammate when you're not playing?
Yeah, it's a challenge. It was like I said, it was another experience for me. Something I've experienced to get scratched before. I've experienced, but in that kind of setting where I thought I was, playing well, where I thought that I was still helping the team every time I was playing, every time I was on the ice. I thought I didn't think I was a liability, but I understood what happened. It's part of the game, it's the business, and it's you're down 2-1, you want to spark things up, and you want to make sure you don't go down 3-1, so you try things, and it worked out. So I mean, I was super happy for Broby when he scored. Just small little details like that. It's like, it's really cool. You try to see the positive, and I was so happy for Broby. And the first reaction was not, oh, great, Philip is playing. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why am I not playing? And you get frustrated, and you're selfish, right? You think about yourself, and at some point, it's like I took a step back again. And it's like, okay, what's happening right now? I'm in Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. I just played all the games. I played a full season. And now I'm not playing tonight. Like, big deal. Nothing I can do about it. And you just kind of try to let it go, and you just try to have fun with it. And it was a struggle. Like I had days where it's just you get frustrated, and you skate with the Black Aces, and you do like extra work at the end of practices, and I haven't done that in a month and a half, 2 months, and now it felt like a setback for me. Right. But it was part of the game. It's part of the business, and at the end of the day, whatever they did, they worked out, because we won, in 6, and we ended up going to Game 7, and we were one post away from tying the game and going to overtime. So, on a selfish point of view, did I enjoy it? Not even one bit. But you got to think about the team. The Edmonton Oilers were not Vincent Desharnais. It's the Edmonton Oilers, and it's 23 guys, 24 guys. And you look at a guy like Corey Perry that got scratched here and there, and Warren Fogle got scratched here and there. And, you see those guys, and I had conversations with them, and it was kind of the same thing that Derek Ryan, the same thing that came back. It was like, Vin, the team is going to need you. Whenever they need you, just be ready. Like, that's how it is.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I went through it, because it's another experience that I can bring to my toolkit that, who knows, I might use in the future.
Vincent Desharnais joins us. And then you got into the Stanley Cup final, though, Vinny. And you know what? You talk about that's a dream. Like, you're in the Stanley Cup final. Were you more nervous before that game or more excited than you've ever been before in a game?
Probably excited, just because I didn't play the 4 games prior. So I just kind of told myself, hey, man, like, you don't know if you're going to play again. And I knew that, like, it was kind of like we needed to win. The lineups were kind of switching around. So I was like, okay, like I just got to enjoy it, because I don't know if I'll get a chance to play again in the finals. So I just try to soak it all in. And obviously there's nerves. And I think we talked about it, like the first 2 shifts, and the puck was really bouncy, and maybe it was not that bad, but it felt very bouncy the first 2 shifts, and you're kind of like fighting a little bit more and making like quicker plays and a little bit simpler. But as the game went on, you get comfortable, and it's just like, hey, it's a game, like the same rules, the same puck, it's the same, same sticks I've been using for the last 10 months. And you just try to play hockey and have fun. And I would actually tell myself when I would come back to the bench and be, hey, do you realize this is the Stanley Cup Finals? Like, you're playing right now, man. Like, because I wanted myself to enjoy. I wanted myself exactly not to be like, oh, I got to play so well. My stick is tight. And I was like, no, like, this is my dream. Like, this is one of my dreams to be here. So just enjoy it. And obviously we lost. It was not the game that we wanted, but it was a very cool moment to just live all the emotions, and it was so loud, and it was a dream come true for sure.
Oh, I can imagine. Now, what about Game 7? The team comes back, you're down 3-0, and you tie it up. You get to Game 7, and you're watching that game. Like, when you're playing, you get on the ice and you're like, okay, I block out the nerves because I got to play. How are you as a fan watching Game 7? Did you watch it? Were you in the dressing room? Were you in the press box?
Yeah, dressing room. Yeah, dressing room. There was like 4 or 5 of us.
Are you
4 or 5 of us watching it?
Like,
no, so we it was the same guys that didn't play Game 5 in Florida, right? So down 3-0, going to Florida, and it's like, or no, it was 3-1, right?
Yeah, 3-1.
Yeah. 3-1. 3-1, obviously it's a must win, and so we all have our spots. Like, a couple of guys grab chairs, other guys are on the floor, and like we all have our, like 4 or 5 of us, we all have our spots, and between the second and third, I think we switched spots, and they scored like early in the third period, like it was 5 minutes in. And Kaner gets up, all right, boys, let's go change back. That's not good. Like, they just scored. Like, so we thought that if we went back to our seats, then the boys would be okay. So we ended up, we switched back. We ended up winning that game. And then Game 7, it was the same thing. Like, guys, like, set up their seats. Like, boys, same seats as last time. We know it. It worked. It worked Game 5. That's what we're doing. So we all set up our seats, and then there's like 10 minutes left in the third, and it's not like we're still down. It's not working. So guys are like, all right, let's switch again. So, but at the end of the day, everyone was like, the last 7 minutes, everyone is standing up. Everyone is like hammering the walls, punching the walls. We all got. It's so, you feel so powerless. Like, you're just looking at it. You want to help the boys. You want to tell them, hey, what plays better, and because you see it. But it's a lot of emotions that you don't control, right? It's a lot of things. It's just, you just see it, and it's like, you just really hope that the boys are going to pull through, and you're going to be able to hoist it. And, obviously it's the feeling afterwards is just awful, but, for me to be able to live those emotions and to be there and to, I'm very grateful for it.
When you were watching that first period, they score, and then I think it was 2 minutes later, a minute and a half, Cody Ceci with maybe the best pass of his life. right? And then it's Matthias Janmark on another huge goal from him. Like those two guys have a history in Game 7. Like Cody Cece's like Mr. Game 7. He scored 2.
Yeah, Vancouver. Yeah,
To assist. Like that play, you guys must have went, because I know as fans they would go crazy, but as a teammate to know how hard it is to make that play in that moment, you guys must have been going nuts at that time.
Yeah, like he scored and we all selling, we're all happy, we're all like hugging each other, high fiving, let's go. And someone goes, "Who made that pass?" I was like, "I don't know who." And they show the replay. I think it was Cease. Like, what? Cease made that pass? You know, everyone's like, "What? Cease made that pass? Holy pass, man!" Like it was pretty funny to. We didn't care about the pass at first, and then once we saw the pass, like we cared about it quite a bit.
And you know what? Like, hey, you got to step up. And as a guy, you've talked about, hey, you know what? Like, just you have to have confidence to say, hey, you know what? I can make a play.
Yeah, and you just do it, and I learned a lot from Cease because he doesn't make a lot of plays like that, but he's gonna do it. Like he's gonna try sometimes, and sometimes it's not gonna work, and he doesn't come to the bench and he doesn't hammer himself on the head because he made, it's like, well, I tried, it didn't work, and I'll because that's how you make plays. You gotta try you gotta make mistakes to actually for it to work.
Vinny Desharnais joins us. Vinny, you talk about your role. I think everybody knows, you're going to go into Vancouver. You're going to play a lot of defensive minutes. You're going to be on their penalty kill. You've really emerged as a really good penalty killer. Some guys are great power play guys. You've emerged as a good penalty kill guy. You take pride in eating shots, which is something not a lot of guys like to do. But can you work? How do you become a better penalty killer?
There's a lot of things you can do to work on the PK. First of all, video can be so you see like the patterns that. So I feel like power plays. It's like every year or every couple of years it changes. There's waves of new types of power plays and new types of PKs. So one of the things you can do is do a lot of video so you see the patterns of the best players. Like. They don't change quite a bit. Like some teams are very similar and some players are very similar. So that's first thing. Second thing, you can work on blocking shots. I went to Canadian Tire a couple of years ago and I bought rubber pucks. Yeah. And we have a drill that we do that I didn't create, but I just came up with it. And the guys actually, when I saw them at the gym a few weeks ago, they came to me. It was like they showed me videos of them eating pucks. One of them is in the East Coast, the other one is in the AHL. And it's like, look, man, like we block shots like you showed us, and we went down, and it was pretty cool to see because we worked on it with rubber pucks. And the other thing is just being efficient with your footwork, not trying to cross over too much, always trying to be square, never try to turn your back. There's just few little details that you can work on, having a good stick. Kind of reading where the other guy's stick is. Is he a lefty? Is he a righty? So my stick is going to be more open, more closed. So it's small little details that in this league they make a big difference. But it's funny that you asked that because last year during the summer, that's what I kind of asked myself. I'm like, okay, I want to be a PK guy. How do I get better at it? So I actually started doing video, and that's when I started taking notes of, okay, what I can improve on, what is great, and what I gotta get great. And yeah, I think that it was good this year. I think I got better. I think I learned a lot from a guy like Ekholm. I learned a lot from the coach Mark Stewart. Those two guys really, really helped me out. And I think that this summer I'm going to take another big step because now, I have my confidence. I know what my role is. I know who I am, and I can just kind of focus on that.
Do you think, as Vinny Desharnais joins us here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, do you think having practiced against them for basically your whole NHL career, is there any insight you'll have as a penalty killer against the league's best power play?
I'm not telling you that. I mean, yes and no. They have so many options that you think you have them covered and you don't. Obviously, seeing them on a daily basis might help me a little bit. But it would be a lie to say that I know what to do against them and I know, some insights. They're so creative, and the forwards coach Gully, he's very, very creative as well, and so I'm not excited to play against that power play, but I'm excited in a way because it's going to be a good challenge, and I love a good challenge on the PK.
Now, Vinny, you and Stuart Skinner had the post game high five that the video showed. Fans loved it. Stu, even if there was a game you didn't play, he would go out there and he would do it without you. Do you need a break? Like when you go to Vancouver, is it like you're cheating on each other if suddenly he has a new post game handshake with a guy? Is it too soon for you? How's that going to work into next season? Can you have
we talked about it at the wedding. So so during the wedding we booked like the same at the same hotel. We were renting the same car. So we knew it was going to be like our last time together. So we want to spend a lot of time together, which was great. But we talked about it, and he goes, I swear to God, if I see you first game back, do the high five with Demko, I'm gonna lose my marbles. And it was pretty funny. But no, it's something that started with Skins. It started organically. We didn't plan it. We didn't, it just happened, and we just kept it. And it's something that I was doing with him, and I don't think I'm going to do with anyone else. And it's going to be sad not being able to do it with him for sure. And but it's that's the business. But I'm gonna miss Skins for sure. And even like most guys, like by the end of the season, most guys had their own their handshakes with me, right? Some guys would put it low, some guys would put it high, some guys would just bump me. So we all had our own handshakes, which was really cool. Kind of made the winning even more fun.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's something that at times, it's your job, but it's still a game, right? And
you gotta have fun.
You got to have fun with it, right? And it's the one thing I've always appreciated from you. We got a lot of texts flying in that, the thing I always like about Vinny's is honesty. You kind of talk just, you're in the NHL. And I've always said to a lot of people, like, there's a few guys I've covered over the years who I'm like, every day in the NHL was always something they appreciated. Steve McIntyre was probably the first guy I ever met, like, who every moment for him. And now, and he didn't have as long as a career that you're going to have or anything. And, he kind of knew that maybe it was borrowed time, so he appreciated every moment. But you've always been someone who kind of I don't want to say that you don't get too big for your britches, or you're all of a sudden like, hey, you know what, like, I'm too cool for school, I'm an NHL guy. You're just like I'm in the NHL every day, like, this is still kind of pretty cool.
Yeah, it's I mean, my parents don't like it when I say that, but I say, like, I shouldn't be here, in a way, like, I shouldn't be in the NHL. If you look at the odds, if you look at, the previous guys who got drafted in their third year, 7th rounder, like, that's the last chance that you get the draft. Like, third year, 7th rounder, like, you can't go past that. It's so, you look back, you just look at everything that I kind of went through, my journey, like, I shouldn't be here, and I made it. So that's why I'm like, well, and some days are hard. Some days, like everyone else, you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I want to go to work. Like, sometimes I don't want to practice today. Like, it's not, I want to do something else, but it's the job. And I keep reminding myself, like, hey, like, you're in the best league in the world. Enjoy it. Like, be grateful. Just have fun. And I always mention my journal, but that's something that helps me the most with that, in kind of going back and reminding myself that, hey, you're in the best league in the world. Like, even throughout playoffs when I was not playing, or during the season, if I had, a bad game or two or a bad sequence, and I'm hard on myself and I want to play well, I want to perform, but then I would, like, at night, I would write in my journal. I would always go back to, hey, you're in the best league in the world. Smile, go have fun. No matter what happens, just give everything you got and go have fun. And yeah, it's been working well for me. I've been enjoying it. There's still days like it's important to mention because people see it. They're like, well, so that guy only has good days. Or like, no, I have bad days too, like everyone else. But
No.
by thinking about it, by trying to be grateful, by trying to focus on what's positive, what's in front of me, then it helps me kind of get through those days that are a little bit harder.
Journaling. Vinny, how long have you been journaling?
I would say 3 years, 3 to 4 years. Almost.
And did you notice that when you started to write down, whether it was this is what I want to accomplish or this is me going in the moment, that even reading it the next day or reading it 3 months later, like, did it really help you mentally as far as preparation or just enjoyment overall?
Yeah, it just I feel like it simplifies the experience I'm going through. A good example, during playoffs, I'm not playing, getting scratched. It's my birthday. Like, everyone is texting me, why you're not playing? Why this? This is bullshit, this and that. Like, the family, my parents are in town. My agent is like, there's just so much happening. Everyone is so negative. And at some point, I'm like, okay, everyone to, sorry for the term, shut the fuck up, leave me alone. And it's like, I need time for myself to take it back. And I started writing, what was happening. And at the end, I'm like, okay, so is it that bad? And I wrote, like, I'm in the best league in the world. I'm on private jets. I have food. I have unlimited food. I have a lovely apartment. I was writing everything that was positive in my life. And I at the end, I'm like, oh, but I'm not playing tonight. I'm like, okay, well, my life is pretty good right now. I can be positive. Yes, it's frustrating, but seeing it for me, like, some people, it might not be that. But for me, it just helps me kind of seeing it. I'm reading it. I'm like, okay, this is it. Like, it's just pen on paper. It's pretty simple. That's all it is. I'm okay. I'm still alive. I'm healthy. My parents are healthy. Like, it just kind of simplifies the whole, like, how everyone reacted, and it just gives me, like, those negative vibes, that frustration. And for me, it was, I took a step back. I did that. A meditation, and then I wrote my journal, and it just kind of eased down everything that was happening.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. We do have a lot of texters saying, "Oh, now Vinny's a Canuck," and suddenly he's swearing. So they're having fun with it already. See, the rivalry is already coming through. So that's
perfect.
Yeah,
I'll be swearing a lot more.
One last one for you, Vinny. Again, for all those, Vinny's joining us because he's a good sport, and we've really appreciated getting to know each other over the years, and obviously we'll still talk. But this Saturday, he's shaving off his head to help young kids and their families who are dealing with cancer. If you want to help out and make a donation, every $50 donation, you'll get a draw. There's a Gretzky signed jersey. There's McDavid signed jerseys, Paul Coffey signed jerseys. Like, it's, basically it's a Hall of Fame signed jerseys is what it is, which is pretty sweet. Go to Vinny's Instagram page is the best way where you can make a donation. Any donations appreciated, of course, but if you want to win one of the cool jerseys, you can do that. I do have a question for you. Are you wearing 73 next season in Vancouver?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I am. You can't change a winning number like that. That's the number that they gave me first day in 2016, first day of Dev Camp. That's the number they gave me. And I was like, well, you know what? It was meant to be. That's going to be my number in the National Hockey League for the rest of my career. If I can get it, that's the number I'm getting.
Well, hey, that's fantastic. I like my nephew's actually wearing 73 in Ottawa again because that was the number he got. So I get it. I understand it. Vinny, it's always great to catch up with you, man. We hope to have you again on in the future. Best of luck. Enjoy getting that trim on Saturday because there's nothing better than down to the wood. I can tell you that. It looks good.
Nothing better. Hey, and Jason, too, if I have a deal for you. You've been mentioning to me, you want my jersey, you want my, like, in the whole raffle, you want my jersey to be in there. If you donate to the cause, I'll put a jersey in there.
Done.
If the Jason Gregor Show donates to the cause, I'll put a Vancouver Canucks jersey in there.
Oh, all right, buddy. I'll be putting it in for sure. Perfect. Vancouver Canuck fans, you should tweet it out to them. They got a pretty big group. Maybe not as good as Oilers fans, but there's a pretty big group of them. So you know what?
We'll see. I haven't experienced it yet. I'll be able to tell you after 2 years. I'll be able to compare it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we'll be in touch, man. And yeah, when the show's over, we will make a donation for sure for the cause. Great for you to do. It's a fantastic cause for kids who hopefully never have to go through it. But just in case they do, this gives them and their family a lot of support. Always good to catch up with you, my man. We'll talk to you again soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet. That is Vincent Desharnais from the Vancouver Canucks. Never swore when he's a member of the Oilers. That's all I know. It's already jerk factor. You know what? He's very passionate. I love his honesty, and I love how he talked about just, you know what? It's a great reminder for people that, you know, if you know somebody and you think you're supporting them, but at the time they don't want to read from their family or friends, why aren't they playing? Right? They don't want to read. Why aren't you playing? Like, what do you think he's going to say? Well, because coach is an idiot. Blah blah blah. Well, it's not going to help him. Right. So it's and I get why people do it. Like, I totally understand it, but it's a good, maybe a reminder, and there should be different ways to approach it for friends or family. So we'll see. But Vinny Desharnais, it's fun. I look at Vincent Desharnais. He's kind of like the reverse Cassian. Zach Cassian, Oilers fans couldn't stand when he was in Vancouver, right? Remember when he hit Sam Gagner, like Oilers fan, and then he signs in Edmonton, like, I'm never gonna cheer. Then all of a sudden, you know, he's growing the chops. He's scoring that big goal in the playoffs. He's behind the net. He's fighting Kachuk, and Oilers fans like, hey, I gotta like this Cassian guy. And Vinny Desharnais, it might be hard for some Oilers fans. Like, God, I really liked him. I respect him. And now he's playing for Vancouver. And you know what? You'll like him when he plays against every other team. But you know what? The first time he's got out there and he's got his big long reach and he's sticking Draisaitl or McDavid, Oilers fans are gonna be like, God, I can't stand Desharnais. And it's it'll toy with your emotions. That's what it does. That's what's fun about sports. We'll take a quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Be melancholy, not melancholy. Summer is ripe for fun, and some Booster Juice bestsellers are back in season. Watermelon smoothies, including the refreshing watermelon wave, a berry burst of strawberries, raspberries, pomegranates.
353. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. The Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. $38 million in the gold ball jackpot tonight for Lotto 649. You can get your tickets there. And also, how about Mr. Guerrero looking for hits in 19 consecutive games tonight? Ooh. Kind of like that, Vladdy, to get a hit. Why not? You got to play it at playalberta.ca. Lots and lots of texts flying in. Hey, guys, I'm not one to blow smoke, but honestly, that was a fantastic interview. What a neat and honest guy from Mickey Bob. Guys, when teams say they want to add character, that's Vincent Desharnais, an inspiration to all the drafted players. The spot you were picked doesn't matter. It's what you do with it. From Craig. Bang on. And really, you can, in essence, Vinny's like a 21st round pick because, he got passed over his first year. There's 7 rounds. Got passed over his second year. That's 7 rounds. And then got drafted in the third time around, last time eligible in the 7th round. And he is like, that's a stellar pick by the Edmonton Oilers. Drafting, developing him. Took some time and here he is. And now, solid NHL player. Just signed a pretty good contract for him, 2 years at $2 million apiece to play with the Vancouver Canucks. And a guy who, at the end of that deal, because of his size, he's a pretty good skater for a guy that big. He just continues to cement himself. I see no reason to think Vinny Desharnais can't play 8, 9, 10 years in the league. Just because if you can do something very well like penalty kill and skate, and he's decent defensively, and if he just keeps making small incremental improvements with his puck skills and his offensive game, as he talked about his confidence, well, that'll make a big difference. But you can't teach size. You really can't teach toughness and a willingness to want to go after things. So it's good. It's a fun guy. It's always, when you got a guy like Vincent Desharnais on, he's always just very honest. Hey, Greg, the thing I like about your show is guys get so comfortable. They think they're just talking to you. They forget they're on the radio and they're dropping F-bombs. It's great. Well, Vinny did text me. He's like, sorry, man. And you know what? Honestly, like, hey, I think we're all old enough to understand. Like there's certain words. Yes. And again, we don't want to say them, how they're said. And in the way that they're said, it's a little bit different. So you know what, if you're listening on the, online, you go back and listen to it. Obviously, it won't be there, so that's the good news. So maybe it didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about, but yes, obviously it did, and you know what? That's all right. So, hey, if we can get people comfortable and talking, and then you just kind of slip out every now and then, hey, it's all right. Hey guys, I really liked his explanation of the feeling of playing in the playoffs, of getting sat out in the playoffs, and then him describing him and his teammates and how they moved around. Basically, they're like all of us fans. Crazy thinking that where we sit will impact the game. Outstanding from Doug. Well, that wasn't lost on me, Doug, because the funny part is, and I think people forget it at times, that they're just human beings. They might be really good at something. Like obviously they're very good at hockey. That's why they're in the NHL. But at the end of it, they're just still human beings. It's the old adage, they put their pants on one leg at a time, same as everybody else. And so when they're sitting there, and I thought his description was pretty accurate, it's a helpless feeling. And for fans who are really invested, you put in a lot of hours, you buy jerseys, you buy hats, you go to the games, maybe you watch all the games, whatever your commitment level is. When you're watching those games, you desperately want your team to win. And so you'll be like, hey, Bob, you sat on the corner of our couch last time and they won. Well, you're sitting on the corner of the couch. And people are like, yeah, okay. And they don't even question it. That's what's great about it. Like it's supposed to be fun. You sit in the same chair, you do the same thing. And you know what? If they're winning, they keep winning. It works. And like them, no different than anybody else. They change. I like the fact that in game 5, they were sitting someplace. Then they lose. They switch. All of a sudden, Florida scores. No. We got to switch back. And then they won the game. That to me is kind of comical. But I think it's also very similar to how a lot of fans are when they get together with their friends to watch the games, right? You're watching it with your family. Some people have a certain spot that they like to sit at. It's just how it goes. Some are screamers, some are quiet, some are pacers, some are like, oh my God, I can't watch. I got to leave the room. There's all different levels of fans. And the players are probably very similar. in that regard. So that's to me, that's great. Hey guys, any idea why the Oilers didn't re-sign Desharnais? It's a fair question. Salary cap probably played a little bit of a factor, right? If you look at, Vincent Desharnais, you got Broberg coming in. Now, some would say, hey, they should have traded Cody Ceci, and we already got texts like that. And sure, but you know what? Cody Ceci played pretty well in the third and fourth round. So if they feel that, hey, we think for one more year of Cody Ceci, that's a better option. Maybe that's how they view it. I'm only guessing at this point. But, and maybe they did offer Vincent a contract, but it, wasn't what he thought he could get in free agency, because it is still, like you said, there is still the business side, and you can't just completely forget about it. It's always going to be there. There's the business side of it, and there's the big contracts, and you know what? There's no guarantees that you'll get another contract, right? So when you have an opportunity, then I understand sometimes you want to test free agency just to see potentially what is out there. It makes sense for sure. We'll catch up. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Rhoda Exclusive, an exclusive collection of luxury assets, including supercars, off-road vehicles, watercrafts, vacation properties, and more. Limited openings. For more information, where you can join this exclusive club, go to rhodaexclusive.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Canada's Alicia Newman has won bronze in the women's pole vault at the Paris 2024 Games. Newman set a new national record and personal best by clearing 4.85 meters. That was Canada's 19th medal at the Games as they continue to close in on their Tokyo 2020 total of 24. Canadian sprinter Andre DeGrasse will not repeat as a 200-meter gold medalist after he failed to advance out of his semifinal. After the race, he did reveal that he had a hamstring suffered at first surfaced about a month ago. In the association, Utah Jazz All-Star forward Lauri Markkanen has agreed to a 5-year, $238 million contract extension, including $220 in new money. The former 7th overall pick had 1 year, $18 million left on his current deal. Major League Baseball, the Jays in action. Vlad Guerrero are going to make it hits in 19 straight games as they host the Orioles once again. That'll start just after 5 o'clock. 2 games going on right now. Game 2 of the doubleheader. Diamondbacks lead the Guardians 5-3. In Game 1, Guardians fall to the Diamondbacks 7-3. Also, you got the Yankees leading the Angels 5-0 in the top of the 6th. That's Game 1 of their doubleheader. Earlier on, Cubs knocked off the Twins 8-2. Rangers losing at home to the Astros 6-4. And it was the Athletics over the White Sox 3-2. Edmonton Riverhawks in action tonight. They'll take on the Nine just after 8 o'clock on Saturday. They'll host their first ever playoff game in franchise history. First pitch 7 o'clock, with the doors opening at 5:30 as the Bellingham Bells will be in town. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions and be joined by LA Rams beat reporter Nick Hamilton. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
The cheesy burger pizza is back at Papa John's. See what happens when you ask for it? Boom! Finally, it's on the menu again for a limited time. Get all the items in the cheesy burger trio or choose between the large cheesy burger pizza for $18.99, cheesy burger papadilla for $9.99, and bacon cheesy burger papa bites for $8.99. All made with sizzling beef, dilly pickles, ooey gooey cheese, and burger sauce. That's right, burger sauce. Get it before it's gone. Better ingredients, better pizza. Better get you some cheesy burger pizza at Papa John's.
Rule number 41, never challenge a goose in the Bow Valley. They run this town and they know it. Summer in Alberta has its own set of rules. And if you're looking to add a little extra fun, Play Alberta has it all. Use promo code SUMMER to snag a $50 casino bonus for casino, instance, and live dealer with your next deposit. Get ready for promotions throughout the summer to help you make the most of those sunny Alberta days, because we all know they don't last long enough. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
The Brick is celebrating its 53rd birthday with fantastic deals in every department. Take up to 25% off dining and bedroom furniture and up to 40% off mattresses. And buy more, save more. Up to $400 off select major appliances. And don't forget about back-to-class favorites like desks starting at $74.95, small appliances starting at $99, and mattresses at just $169. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
The basketball show can be heard right here on Sports 1440. This is Paul Sir. Every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to noon, we talk local, international, and professional basketball. Check it out this weekend on Sports 1440.
Mr. Rooter builds a portfolio.
Now, Mr. Rooter, I suggest we invest heavily in the S&P.
What's that?
Sewers and plumbing?
I agree.
No, actually...
And what do you think of precious metals?
Yes, gold is a very...
Don't buy copper. You see, copper pipes have widely been replaced by polyethylene.
Sure. Also, Bitcoin...
Bitcoin? I snake enough of those out of toilets on my own, thank you very much.
For a plumber with good dividends, call Mr. Rooter.
Hey, Elks fans.
Jackpot! Touchdown!
Get on the Elks party bus for every home game at On the Rocks for only $35.
Included is a game ticket, round-trip transportation, and a prepaid Coors Light.
Reserve your spot now at ontherocks.com.
And OTR is your go-to for every Euro Cup game.
With $5.25 Heineken.
Their first major trophy.
It's the ultimate football experience.
Canadian or European.
Only at On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price starting at $1 plus tax for a small. It's great if you love great tasting coffee. $1 small premium roast coffee every single day. Must be McCafe. Plus tax at participating restaurants in Canada. Excludes delivery.
Just after 4 o'clock, lovely Wednesday afternoon. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you on Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. You can always get in the show. You can text us 833-401-1440 in our email inbox, 833-401-1440. Texts keep flying in. We get lots of people like, you guys are all like keeping your old wooden sticks. I can't believe how many pictures we're getting, because now we do accept pictures on our text line. We've upgraded. We're very classy now. Very classy. But man, I'm seeing like some Christians and old school Titans and Eastons. Like, man, good for you. Just keep them in the garage. Do you now? My big question is like, do you put the butt of the stick on the ground so the blade isn't always touching the bottom, slowly getting worse? So, just a thought. So we'll see. Lots more. I love how everybody's suddenly swearing in the text line now, Con. Hey, Gregor, you're right. You do bleep and get us comfortable. Okay, everybody's at KB. Well, that's good, though. You know what? Hey, I've always felt the best compliment I'll get sometimes is people say, hey, listen to the show. It's like listening to two buddies just yammer on. And that's, I think it's conversational. That's what we like to strive for, especially when we're doing interviews. So I appreciate those who feel that as part of the show. Nick Hamilton is going to join us. We'll talk a little NFL later on today. Concept, do they have an update on the 400-meter hurdle sprinter who smacked his head? It was kind of a danger sign if you're a situation today on the track. Just went over one of the hurdles, got caught with his feet, and came down and basically, boom, smashed his head right against the turf. But it sounds like that, and his name was Lamanche Girma, and he's conscious, is speaking, as I'm seeing a report here from Devin Haru. So that's good news. Anybody who watched it, if you're going to watch it later on tonight, that was a little scary for a second, but you know what? Hey, it's going to happen. It does. Obviously, the big news of the day was Canada. Alicia Newman becomes the first Canadian to ever win an Olympic medal in pole vault. She finished bronze, setting Canadian records. And you know what? It was a great day. She was quite the entertainer. The pole vault, both the men yesterday and the women have been out. Or sorry, the men was 2 days ago, I think it was. It's been great. It's high drama. It's very, very eventful. So I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the 200-meter final. Should be great. Unfortunately, Andre DeGrasse did not make it through. He finished third in his heat and didn't qualify for the final. He did say after the race that he's dealing with a little bit of a hamstring injury, which, hey, that'll happen. It's the worst possible time to have an injury at the Olympics. Just a little nagging one. He thinks he'll be good to go for the relays. But if you watched DeGrasse, he didn't seem to have his explosiveness. And when we're talking like these elite level, like they're so tightly wrapped. They're like any small little difference. I think especially for the fastest in the world, that's going to be the difference sometimes of you making a final and not even making the final. Never mind winning, just making the final because it's that good. So that's how it goes. Hey guys, do you think Desharnais would run McDavid or Draisaitl, or because you're that good of friends with guys, does it not worry? Well, Scott, it's a fair question. I'll ask you this one. Have you ever played sports against one of your good friends? And if you're a competitive person, I find sometimes when you play against your good buddy, you almost go harder. Now, not cheaper, but harder. Like, I don't expect Vincent Desharnais to cheap shot one of those guys. Oh, I guess it could happen in the heat of the moment. But do I expect him to play hard against them? 100%. You would almost, it'd be disrespectful to yourself and to your friend if you went head-to-head and didn't play them as hard as you would anybody else. Now, would he cross-check someone maybe with a little bit more vigor? I think that's possible. I think there's cheap shots against players that you don't really have a connection to at all are more likely than to somebody you really get along with. I think that's probably fair. But ask any siblings out there. Sometimes when they compete against their brothers or sisters competing against each other, it can get a little squirrely at times. And you get along with each other quite well. So, no, I don't think he would cheap shot them. But if Desharnais has a chance to get a clean hit on McDavid or Draisaitl, he's taking it every time. Just like if McDavid has a chance to undress Desharnais and burn him for a goal, he's doing it. Like that's just part of the game. And I don't think there's anything. I think that's how they look at it. So it's great. Hey guys, I have a Guy Lafleur Titan with an autograph and his career stats. Ooh. Now, are the career stats embedded in the stick or just written on the stick? Because I know they do have some stick. Gretzky had a few Titans made that. So part of the when they made the stick, they put the stamp directly on with his stats. I've seen one of those sticks. That's pretty cool. So it is. It's very good. Hey guys, 3 brothers and sisters for me. You best believe there was everything, especially cheap shots when we competed. Oh yeah, that's the old adage, brotherly love or sibling rivalry. It's legit for a reason. There's no question. Hey, Gregs, do you know what the Blue Jays record is for most consecutive games with a hit? From Doug. Doug, I do not, but Cons will look that up for us. As I mentioned earlier, I know there's been 37 hitting streaks of at least 30 games in MLB history. And then to go to 31, there's only 26, right? So there's quite a few people just at 30. The Jays, like Roberto Alomar, is that for some reason? I think maybe him, but Cons will find it.
Nope.
No?
This is one of my favorite Jays, actually. Sean Green, 28 games.
Oh, that's who you're right.
Yeah.
Sean Green. Okay. Now, Johnny Olerud had 26.
I'd have to take a look because I've only got the top for the Jays.
Okay.
But I'll take a look at the others. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought, remember like Johnny Olerud, remember that the year he was flirting with 400 for a while, then he ends up at like, I think it was 363 or something. Like it was ridiculous the year. That guy, he was such a smooth swing. Oh, He was great to watch. So 28 games. So Vladdy needs another 10 more. So they're really not that close yet when you think about it. So long ways to go. But he's hitting 500. I'd like to know, what was Sean Green hit? That's the thing. It's not like Vladdy's just getting 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5. Like he's been mashing the ball. Absolutely mashing it during this stretch for the Jays.
Do you think Joe DiMaggio's longest hit streak should be higher up on the list of records that will never be broken, or do you think it's attainable?
Oh, I don't think it's attainable. Did you know that he had a 61 game hitting streak in the minors?
No, I did not.
Yeah. So that guy could hit at all levels. 61 game in the minors, and he had a 56 game hitting streak in the major leagues of baseball. I know people say, well, could a guy get hot? I guess in theory, sure. But do I think a 56 game hitting streak today is realistic, Cons? I don't. I think they put so much into studying nowadays. I think it's harder than ever, right? Because especially, let's say he's 0 for 2, and now you get late in the game. Now they're bringing in a lefty specialist or a righty specialist at different times, right? Now the switch isn't as prevalent as it used to be, so that maybe helps it. But don't get me wrong, I would love to see it, but it seems pretty far-fetched.
Yeah, in the top 10 of all time, only one is most recent, in the 2000s. Just the Jimmy Rollins,
and that's what's stretched out over 2 seasons.
Over 2 seasons, yeah, 38 games.
Yeah,
Paul Molitor in '87 did 39 games, but those are the 2 most recent.
Yeah, well, Louis Castillo had 35, I think, with the Marlins in the 2000s. But you're right. Still
not top 10. Yeah.
That's not even it's close, but ain't that close.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're 35. You're still 21 games away. Ridiculous. So, yeah, that 56 gamer, especially because no one else has even ever been above 45. Right? Willie Keeler in 1800s had a 45 game hit streak. Pete Rose had 44. I'm reading it now. And Bill Dalen, 42. Sisler, 41. Ty Cobb, 40. So there's only been 5 guys to even get to 40. So, yeah, I think you're right. That probably should be higher on the list of records that probably will never be broken. Gretzky's point record, and it's a career, right? That's why a one event record is in theory easier to break than a career record. And Gretzky's point totals, come on. I don't, unless they have some massively drastic change to how the game is played, I don't see how you do it. Look at Connor McDavid. So Connor McDavid's going to reach 1,000 points this year. And he'll finish the season with over 1,100. So in his first 10 years, he'll be, over 1,100 points. Well, he would still need 17. So he's going to have to play I guess if McDavid played 26 seasons, was averaging, 100 points a year the rest of the way, then he could do it. That's what he would have to do, Cons. It's ridiculous. You have to have 16 more seasons after this year, where he averages 100 points a year to catch Gretzky. Think about that.
It's got to mix in a couple 200-point seasons, I think.
Yeah.
Let's go do that.
Yeah. Hey, heck, even if because he did have 150, yes. So could he do it again? Okay. I guess it's possible because he's done it once, so I'm not going to count him out. But all that would do is maybe be I think 2,000 is very plausible for Connor McDavid. I really do. I think Connor McDavid has at least another 10 years. Look at Sidney Crosby. This will be Sidney Crosby's 20th season coming up this season. Last year, he had the 3rd highest goal totals of his career in year 19. The greats of the greats are able to stay the greats longer than ever. Connor McDavid's numbers are fantastic. So I think 2,000 points is achievable. But no, that record, I think Barry Bonds' juiced up home run record is going to be very hard to break. And to me, it's an asterisk record. I'm going to be honest, just because he was clearly on steroids at the time. You look at even in the CFL, is somebody going to throw for 6,000 yards? God, I'd love to think so, but I don't know, it's hard. Like some of those single season records, like single game, Wilt Chamberlain, 100 points. I know Kobe got to 81, but still, he's still 20% short. So when I look at some of those records, you're right, man. I think that's totally fair to say that 56 gamer probably not going to be beat. Not at all. Quick break. When we come back, I know DJ Metcalf might be in trouble today with his team cons. He had the old helmet swinging incident against his teammate in practice. I just saw that online, so that's not a good look. So we'll get to that and more. And do you play fantasy football? We'll chat about some guys. One guy who's maybe underrated, one guy who might be overrated in the rankings. Next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like jobs. The men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Why tee off at the Ranch Golf and Country Club?
A fun, unique layout offering premier conditions. The Ranch has been ranked as one of the top public courses in Canada.
Unmatched value. Score Golf Magazine rated the Ranch as the best value in Edmonton.
The service, from tournaments to special events to the pro shop. Superior service that makes every visit exceptional.
The Ranch Golf and Country Club, a laid-back environment where anyone can enjoy an amazing day on the fairways. For details, visit theranchgolf.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You adore your Audi, value your Volkswagen, baby your Beamer. But some of that love fades when repairs take several days and tons of cash for the dealership to do their magic. Let Cochran's Automotive rekindle the flame. They'll professionally repair your import, usually in 1 day. Audi, BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, Honda, and Toyota. Cochran's Automotive will return her to mint condition. Open at 7 a.m. Let Cochran's Automotive repair your automotive air conditioning before things heat up. Cochran's Automotive, 780-452-5001.
People living with Parkinson's disease are unshakable, and every year we celebrate them. On Saturday, September 7th, join Parkinson Association of Alberta at Rundle Park for our 12th annual Step and Stride Walk for Parkinson's. Visit parkinsonassociation.ca and support those affected by Parkinson's disease and Parkinson Plus syndromes. Come together with family and friends and raise much-needed funds. Your donation provides support, education, and programs that improve quality of life. Learn more, register a team, and donate today at parkinsonassociation.ca.
This summer, as the sun shines, the grass will grow. Tame your yard with the help from the Lawnmower Hospital. Live on an acreage? Save up to $2,000 and get 0% financing for 36 months on select Toro zero-turn tractors. Save up to $2,000 and get 0% financing for 36 months on select Toro zero-turn tractors, OAC. For smaller jobs, go for the Toro Super Recycler with personal pace and electric start. Make summer yard care a breeze with Toro and the Lawnmower Hospital.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
LawnmowerHosp.com.
Getting born in the state of Mississippi, Papa was a copper and the mama was a hippie. In Alabama, she was swinging a hammer. Price you gotta pay when you break the panorama. She never knew that there was anything more than gold. What in the world does your company take me for? Black bandana, sweet Louisiana, robbing on a bank in the state of Indiana.
.423. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. We're going to get to our football report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer long at legacyheating.ca. And we're just waiting for we got him? Okay, perfect. Because we are going to talk a little LA Rams with Nick Hamilton from Nightcast Media, as well as a Sirius XM. Nick, welcome to the show, my man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Oof, I'm excellent. It's football season. CFL's in full gear. The Elks are actually playing their quarterback. NFL camps are starting. It's the most predictable thing every year is that when two teams get together for practices, there ends up being a brawl, and then somebody gets fined, and we've already had a few of those. So you know that the NFL is back.
Absolutely. It turns into Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, the street match.
Hey, let's LA's got some receivers that are garnering a lot of attention, right? You had the breakout last year, and now you have a lot of people on. Where are you on Cooper Kupp? And the chance for him, obviously he was banged up with injuries last year, for him to kind of come back and be the dominant receiver that he was prior to the injury.
I think he's definitely, he's taking his body seriously as he always does, but I think just the fact of him knowing how to maintain his body, meaning knowing how far.
I think we might have lost him. So I'll try to reconnect there, see where his body's at. So it's unfortunate. Maybe we'll just get him on the phone cons. That'll be a little bit easier. Make sure it's clear as day. So there we go. Now it was funny because Cooper Kupp for a few years there, like he was unbelievable. If you had him in your fantasy league or you're a fan of the Rams, you're just like, okay, this guy, like he's money in the bank. He was ridiculously dominant. But you get an injury, and then Puka Nacua came up last year, and he was outstanding. So I kind of wonder how they can bounce off of one another. But like Cooper Kupp, especially in 2021, like that was one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen. Right, as far as a receiver goes. So we'll figure out kind of where he is. But last year, what he had. Like really the last 2 years, like 812, 737, it's kind of been a while. So maybe that 1947 was the outlier. Like I don't know. So we'll see. And now let's get back to Nick. So Nick, like that, the 2021 season was so remarkable. I think it's unrealistic to think he's going to get 1,947 yards and 145 catches. He didn't even have 145 combined the last 2 years. But like, do you think 100 catch receiving a season is realistic, or because the breakout last year from Puka that maybe it's more of a 90 catch season is the ideal for Kupp?
I think between 90 and 100, depending on how they run the offense. Obviously, the way that they want to run that offense, like you mentioned with Puka Nacua, Robinson, as well as Cooper Kupp. So I think they have a lot of offensive weapons. I think what they have to do is be able to spread the ball out, and I think that's what they need. I think Cooper Kupp is on a tear to make sure that he wants to not only stay healthy, but make sure he has an instrumental part of making sure that the Rams capture W's on Sunday. So I think that's his main focus beyond just being healthy, is to be able to help the team and continue to navigate his way throughout the season, and also be able to continue to share those notes with Puka Nacua.
And what about Puka and the fact that like he put up some pretty big numbers with Kupp not being there? Because sometimes you say, well, Kupp was giving all the double teams. Well, that wasn't the case. Like now this guy was outstanding. Can he? How does he build off of that year? Or is it more realistic to say, you know what, he doesn't necessarily have to have the same numbers, but he can be close?
I think he does have to be close, but also, too, you have to always remember, too, there wasn't a lot of film on Puka Nacua where defensive coordinators can study him at length. Now this season they can, because they have a huge size of opportunities to watch how he's been able to maneuver his way. He's a very elusive receiver. He loves the game. He brings a lot of energy. Even when he doesn't have the ball, his presence just on the field makes you pay attention to him, and gets the opportunity for the Rams wide receivers or tight ends to be open on a play to continue to move the chain. So Puka Nacua, whether he has the ball or not, he's still going to be a threat. As he was last season, he's going to be a threat this season, I believe, as well, as long as he's able to stay healthy.
What about the quarterback? What's your expectations for Matt Stafford?
Expectations for Matthew Stafford. I think Matthew Stafford's going to continue to be Matt Stafford, meaning he's going to continue to move the offense. I mean, we see the nine and dime correlation between him and Kupp. Obviously, the chemistry is continuing to develop between him and Puka. But it wouldn't surprise me if he does get, God forbid, he does, injured because of the 16 years in the NFL. I mean, that's tough to be at his position playing 16 years. I mean, he was injured, unfortunately, last year for a couple games. Hopefully he can stay healthy this year. But the Rams did have some insurance with Jimmy G. I think that's one of the reasons why they brought him in, to ensure in case there is an injury where Stafford may miss a game or two, that Jimmy G can pick up where he left off and continue to run with the ones offensively. So, listen, I think when you look at this team, they've got to come out the gate hot. They cannot have a slow start. They cannot struggle in the first 5 games of being 1-4. They have to come out extremely hot, because there is a division that they're going to compete with the San Francisco 49ers. I think this is a 2-team division in the NFC West, and so the Rams are going to have to set the tone. They're going to have to make sure that they have to win games, especially at home, that they need to win in order to stay in the race for the NFC West battle.
We are talking LA Rams with Nick Hamilton from SiriusXM and Nightcast Media. You look at this Rams offense. Now, I know Higbee's nicked up. How serious, if any, is that injury?
He is nicked up. There's been no timetable for his return, to my understanding. So that he's constantly working, he's getting treatment. So that remains to be seen. But they did, watching them in camp with their tight end group. Listen, they are deep at tight end, and they're making sure that tight end group, that they have the right players that they're going to be able to fit in the regular season. I think also, like I said, being able to have that offensive line healthy. We know Havenstein is week to week. Larry Jackson is also week to week, which are 2 big guys on the O-line. So that's going to also be key as far as making sure that O-line is healthy, and being able to keep Matthew Stafford upright long enough to be able to get the ball off, whether that be in the air or dumping it off to Kyren Williams. That's going to be the key. To me, I don't necessarily look at the tight end group. I more look at the offensive line and being able to be healthy, to be able to push the ball down the field where they can move the chain.
You mentioned Kyren Williams. Do you see him as like the clear, obvious number 1 back's going to take the majority of the reps, or is the rookie Blake Corum, how much is he going to be involved in the offense?
Listen, I like Blake. I think Blake has really shown some incredible strides, but I think Kyren Williams is your number 1 guy, but I do think they will share some time depending on who their opponent is. I think that the ability to have those type of weapons in the backfield gives Sean McVay an opportunity to really mix it up, confuse defensive coordinators, as it were, and be able to, like I said, move the ball and keep a high-powered offense, because that's what they're going to need. But I think when I look at this offense, I'm impressed. I like it. I like what the potential that they have. But I'm higher really on the defensive side. But just by them watching camp, the defense has been fired up damn near every day. That defense is electric. They go after it, whether it's the rookies, whether it's the veterans. They've been able to be a really, really solid group in OTAs as well as camp. And so even though they've lost Aaron Donald, which is a hole that can never be filled with the greatness that he's been able to display in the last 10 seasons, they do have sizable guys on that defensive line that can really get the job done, whether it be whoever it may be at whatever position. But I do believe that the defense is really going to make a statement this year. And I do think there are going to be times where the defense is going to have to bail out the offense.
The draft, they focus a lot more on the defensive side than the offensive side of the ball. How many of those defensive draft picks Do you see, like, obviously, I'm assuming anyway that the number one pick out of Florida State's going to start, but any of the other guys you see having significant impacts on the defense?
There are a lot of guys that have significant impacts on this defense. It's all about where they're going to be able to fit in the scheme the defensive schemes that they like to run. The thing about it is with this defense, you have a great mixture, like you mentioned, a lot of rookies, but you also have veterans as well. And so when you have that type of mixture and you're able to build that type of chemistry, even if a guy goes down, they have depth at different positions on the defense. So they won't necessarily miss a step, as it were, but you want to be able to have that type of depth. And I think that's something they have been missing in the last season or two. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this defense is going to bring, and they're going to be tested week in and week out. But when you have a big leader like Ernest Jones, you have John Johnson III in the secondary, you can't really go wrong. And these guys have a lot to learn, but they have some great teachers to learn from in those two that I just mentioned.
Yeah, like 3 of their top 4 picks, I think, were defensive, rush ends or inside guys, right? Versi, although are they playing a 3-4 in the Rams? And is Versi going to be more of a linebacker than a defensive lineman?
That he could be. I think they're still kind of working that out. But Versi has definitely been very, very impressive to the defensive coordinators and the staff on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, they're really impressed with not only his work ethic, but his ability to be able to pick up plays, to be able to develop his field vision. And what I mean by that is being able to really pick up on certain plays, being able to anticipate at times. And I think that's what you look at when you watch this young man out of Florida State who came from a great defensive line. And he's going into even a better defense when it comes to development, when it comes to, like I said, learning from a guy like an Ernest Jones, learning from several other guys that have been there on that defense to be able to pick things up. And so to me, I'm a Jared Verse fan. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I'm a Jared Verse fan. I want to see this guy do well, and I think he will do well.
You look overall, you mentioned the 2-team division, and, San Fran, obviously there's the trade that everybody's waiting for. So we'll see what they get in return. If it's only draft picks, then it's really going to hurt them this season. You throw in McCaffrey, who's, got a calf strain, which we all know calf strains can start out small and can lead to other big things. Where do you see the 49ers, and how close do you think the Rams are to really competing for the top spot in that division?
You know what? That's a great question. I think when you look at the things that you mentioned, Brandon Aiyuk, you look at, which I'm not concerned about Christian McCaffrey. It's still early. It's still preseason. Kyle Shanahan is going to make sure that he gets all the treatment he needs. And Christian McCaffrey, if he's able to play, he will play. He's definitely going to be a threat. But when I look at this San Francisco offense and I look at this entire team as a whole, my question is going to be, how are they going to be able to bounce back from that devastating Super Bowl loss? What have they learned that's going to propel them to get past a lot of teams in the NFC, not just the Rams? And when I look at this Rams team, I think the Rams have everything on their side. I mean, when you look at the defense, when you look at the offense, when you look at special teams, I think they have a very great chance of competing. And the pressure is not on the Rams in this division. The pressure is on the San Francisco 49ers, which we'll see, I believe, in week 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken, when the 49ers come and visit the Los Angeles Rams at SoFi. And that's going to be a true test for the Rams defense, especially those young guys going up against a very pretty loaded, if we still have Brandon Aiyuk, pretty loaded offense with Brock Purdy under center. So it's going to be interesting to see how they adjust. That's going to be the first test, obviously, early in the season, so you get a better assessment of where the Rams are when it comes to these 49ers. But again, it's going to be a brawl no matter what. I don't care if they're the 2 sorriest teams in the NFL. They're going to battle like the championship is on the line.
Looking at Aiyuk, and in that division, and obviously I know you follow the league a lot, is he underrated? And could this be a bigger blow to them if he gets moved than some people might think?
Oh, it's a huge blow. It's the stepping on the San Andreas Fault type of blow. That's not something you want to do. And if you give up Brandon Aiyuk, I do believe he is underrated because of what he brings, his football IQ, his explosiveness, the ability to be able to be in certain spots where he needs to be. And he has great hands. And I think when you look at Brandon Aiyuk and what he brings to the table, I think that's a guy that you want to make happy. I think that's a guy that they are, they want to be able to keep in San Francisco. If you're Brock Purdy, you sending that guy every care package you can. You're trying to take him to dinner. You're trying to buy him all the most expensive wine you can to convince him, hey, man, just forget the trade, man. Just stay here. We want you here. And I know a lot of players do want Brandon Aiyuk there. And I think Brandon Aiyuk wants to be there, but I think it's a matter of just the business being on point and being able to be happy away from the field. So hopefully we'll see if the 49ers can figure it out. I know the Patriots kind of turned down the notion of trying to acquire Brandon Aiyuk in a trade. So we'll see if there are any other teams that may bite before the regular season gets started. But for all intents and purposes, I will not be surprised if Brandon Aiyuk is in a 49ers uniform come game one of the regular season.
Is there any, like we talked a lot about the receivers. What about DeMarcus Robinson? Is he the clear number 3 receiver for you? And, could he be a late sleeper, or is this offense really going to be around Nakua, Kupp, and Williams?
No, I think it's definitely going to, I think DeMarcus Robinson has been absolutely incredible. When I spoke with Sean McVay about him, he had high praise for him, especially being the second year in this offense. He's really picked up the offense. He's really been able to be a asset, not a liability, and being able to also help some of the younger guys when it comes to this offense as well. But also you got Tutu Atwell, who's definitely, they're going to be able to mix in there with his speed and quickness and agility. So I think, like I said earlier, I think the Rams are going to be able to have enough weapons to spread the ball out. Yes, we're going to focus on Cooper Kupp. Yes, you're going to focus on Puka Nacua because those are the two guys that obviously stand out. But also, too, I think they have a wide range of talent, depth, and the ability to be able to spread the ball enough to be able to move the chains and be able to not only that, but also take some pressure off of Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. So if they are doubled, then you have other weapons that you can go to where teams have to go and really rethink their strategy defensively. So, listen, I love DeMarcus Robinson. I think that was a great pickup by the Los Angeles Rams, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can produce on the field this season. I think he's going to definitely be a huge, tremendous asset to that wide receiver corps.
Nick, great stuff, man. Enjoy the preseason, and we'll get to that Week 3 matchup that I think a lot of people will be watching, San Fran and the LA Rams. Thanks so much for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
That is Nick Hamilton, Rams reporter from Sirius XM and Nightcast Media. So, yes, that is Week 3. The 49ers and the LA Rams. Rams will open up. They got Detroit, Arizona, and the 49ers. And then they got Mr. Williams and the Bears in Week 4 at Chicago, of course. Quick break. We'll come back. We have 5 questions to get to. We got Spec. Also, Alan Saunders will join us. We'll talk more about that proposed trade. When's it going to happen? It's being talked about now. The fact that it's been out there this long means clearly there's been some sort of conversations. But is there any chance that Brandon Aiyuk says, you know what? I'm just going to stay in San Fran? Or does money talk? I can understand why it would when you're talking about that much money. Quick break. We'll return to the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, live on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price starting at $1 plus tax for a small. It's great if you love great tasting coffee. $1 small premium roast coffee every single day. Must be McCafe. Plus tax at participating restaurants in Canada. Excludes delivery.
Sunday afternoon, your Edmonton Elks host the BC Lions for Country Day. Before the game, there'll be country music and tailgate, a petting zoo for the kids, and cowpokes can ride the mechanical bull to win prizes. Tickets and more at GoElks.com.
The Brick is celebrating its 53rd birthday with fantastic deals in every department. Take up to 25% off dining and bedroom furniture, up to 40% off mattresses, and buy more, save more, up to $400 off select major appliances. Plus, save up to $1,400 on day and night furniture, and don't forget about back-to-class favorites, like desks starting at $74.95, small appliances starting at $99, and mattresses starting at just $169. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
for comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
It seems the price of everything is redonkulous. So at Wolf GMC Buick, we're trying to make it easy on your wallet. We have a huge selection of GMCs with finance rates starting at 0%. Wait, did I just say 0%? I did. And why am I talking to myself? Oh boy. The prices are fantastic, selection top-notch, and the vehicles? Well, you already know that they're stellar. Get into Wolf GMC Buick now, just off the Anthony Henday. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Maximize your car's lifespan by performing regular maintenance services. Visit Mr. Lube for warranty-approved oil change, scheduled maintenance, and tire service. Open 7 days a week, no appointment needed. Mr. Lube in Spruce Grove is located at the corner of Century Road and McLeod Avenue, or visit MrLube.com.
$4:47. Happy birthday. It's time for 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. They're celebrating their 53rd birthday. Woo! LT was there for his 20th wedding anniversary when they opened. I'm not sure. But either way, 53 for The Brick. And they're having great deals in all departments. Sofas, mattresses, 40% off. You name it, you can save on it. Coming up for the next, well, up until this weekend at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. We've talked a little bit about the Olympics, and hypothetically, if you were at the games, what do you think you could have success and what you might want to? I want to ask you this. If you had to compete in one of these events, what would you be the worst at? What would you have no chance of success at?
I only get one answer?
You get one to top the list, yeah.
Oh, God. Worst event. There's a lot of options here. Yeah, the synchronized swimming for sure. Can't hold my breath underwater that long. Can't, not that flexible. Not great in balance. Yeah, that would, I think that one would rank up there for sure. I think number 1. And the other one, because I sucked at it in track and field, shot put. Brutal.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, there's a lot of different directions we could go with this one. First thing that comes to mind would probably be like if I go into the winter games, we're talking maybe ski jump. I think that or moguls, but I'm pole vault. How do you get into pole vault? I mean, there's got to be a way that you fall into it. It's got to be high school, I would assume. Maybe you're doing track and field separately, but I think for me, pole vault would be one that I would not have too much success in. Question number 2 for you. The PWHL expected to have nicknames and logos by mid-September going into year number 2. How important do you think this is for the league? And Do you think that it might help you find a team that you might want to root for?
That's a good question. I don't think so. For me, anyway, if whatever the Toronto team, the Ottawa, whatever their name's going to be, it's more so I follow players.
Yeah.
Than I would that. But I do think it's important for the league when it comes to merchandise and sales. And, fans who are diehard fans of the team want to, hey, who do you cheer? Or let's go to how many people say I'm going to Edmonton game tonight? No, I'm going to the Oiler game, going to the Riverhawks. So no, I do think it's important for that regard for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I thought that it was kind of a weird thing that they didn't have that all set and ready to go in year one. Maybe they want to put more fan input into it, things of that nature, but I think it's massive. You got to get that going. It's going to help merchandise. With all due respect to the jerseys they had, they were kind of boring. Just looking like Utah right now. I want a logo on a team name. We want some nicknames to make it roll off the tongue a little bit easier. So I think it's massive, and we'll see. I think I'm leaning towards Ottawa to be my team, but we'll see what the nickname is going forward. Question number 3 for you here, since we're kind of in the midst of the NFC West preview. When you look at that division 1 through 4, I'm sure we both got the Niners on top. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what do you think the rest would look like?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to take the Niners, obviously. That one just makes a little bit too much sense. I don't know if I'm as high on the Seahawks, new coach. We'll see what Geno can do. So I'm going to take the Rams second. And actually, I'm going to say the Cards and Seahawks tie. That's probably a bit of a bold move here, but I'm going to say the Cards defense, second year in the system, gets a little bit better. Kyler Murray bounces back into form with Marvin Harrison there to help him out. So, yeah, we'll go number 1 Niners, number 2 Rams, and then Cards Seahawks tie for third.
Well, you look at last season, and I Arizona was just, they're awful to start, right? So they'll be better. I don't see them losing 13. What is it, 13? I don't think they're going to lose 13 games again. Seattle's the kind of the interesting one, right? They were 9-8. I know everybody's like, hey, their new coach, he's kind of a guru at other levels. Yeah, at other levels, I totally agree. But now it's the NFL. So I will go. There's always a surprise. So my surprise will be Seattle finishes ahead of the Rams.
All right. Question number 4. Great having Vinny Desharnais on the show earlier today. Now, he's not the player that a Nurse, a Bouchard, Nekomar, right? He's kind of a role player, played his role very well, got a pay raise, deservedly so. But I want to ask you, and this isn't just strictly the Oilers, but when you go back and you look at hockey players, someone who that stood out to you, you just really were a fan of, although they weren't a star player. Who is it?
Oh, man, there's lots of those guys. Now, although I guess he kind of was a star, but I was a huge fan of Dave Manson, man, when he was in Chicago. But he made the All-Star team. Dave was really good. So I guess it has to be somebody who's not a top 2-3 defenseman or a top 6 forward on a team. Well, I'm going to go with Torrey Robertson from the Hartford Whalers.
Okay. I like it. Yeah, I mean, I was a fan of those mid-early 90s Oilers teams that didn't have too much success. So there's a lot of guys I think I could choose from. I'll say, because I liked his number, Andrei Kovalenko.
Oh, the old 51.
51. I thought that was a cool look. Liked Marius Turkowski as well, a few other guys, but I'll go Kovalenko, and then defensively, Igor Kravchuk. I always liked. I think he wore number 21.
21,
so
yeah.
Good look. So those two guys for me. Final question for you. Sidney Crosby turns 37 today. So, we could say greatest 87s in sports, but it's not too many. He is from out east, a Maritimer. So who are your favorite, or who would be your top Maritimers of all time?
Oh, God. Well, I'm going to go with Terry Ryan. He would be at the top of my list. I've always super respected Crosby, but I've never been necessarily a Crosby fan. Not I'm not an anti-Crosby, just not I like watching McKinnon more if I had to pick. So I guess I'll go Ryan and McKinnon.
Good pick. I don't know too many an crazy amount, but the one that I do know, and I won't say Rita McNeil. I think that'd be Strutties, but Classified the rapper. I think he'd be up there on the list. There's some other ones.
Classified?
Yeah.
Like, what's a song? Can you send me one of his songs? Do you know it?
How does it go? One of the one I don't. Oh, Canada. He has one where he's got some good Canadian references in there. I don't know what would be like the most commercial successful song that he had.
All right.
I'll put it into YouTube. There is one, and I can't think of the title.
That's totally fair. I can never name songs. So,
Inner Ninja. That one had some play. I think some videos on Much Music back in the day.
Inner Ninja.
Yeah.
All right.
But I'll throw Sarah McLachlan in there as well. Sad music, but
yeah. The guy's Bob Cole, very good one, G-Man.
Yeah.
Very good one. Lots of text for Al McInnes. Oh, that guy could fire the pill. Oh my God, what an absolute bomb of a shot. Bomb. So
what kind of stick was he using?
Oh, you know what? That's a good question. I don't know. All I know is a wood one, buddy. And he was shooting at he would shoot absolute lasers at guys. Sheldon Surrey, Al Iafrate had a hell of a shot. There's a few of those guys, like those defensemen who can stand. Like the thing about McInnes was like his slap shot was ridiculously strong standing still. Like I know nowadays they do the hardest shot. The guys skate in 10 feet, which we never see in the game. I'd like to see who has the hardest shot standing from the point. That's what I'd like to see. Because Al McInnes had an absolute cannon in game. Absolute cannon. So wouldn't want to stand in front of it. Guys used to do it, and you just like, how many times before your ankle breaks? Like it just seemed like it was inevitable that your ankle was going to break at some point when you're standing there facing one of his shots. It was brutal, to say the least. Let's get to the comment on a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where their rates never change, no overtime charges, furnace repair or maintenance. If all of a sudden it breaks down, your AC conks out, weekend or late at night, call Legacy. They'll fix it. No overtime charges. I'll tell you about the Legacy at legacyheating.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Canada's Alicia Newman has won bronze at the women's pole vaulting at the Paris Games. Newman set a new national record in personal best by clearing 4.85 meters. That was Canada's 19th medal of these games. They try to track down their Tokyo total of 24. Canadian sprinter Andre DeGrasse will not repeat as a 200-meter gold medalist after he failed to advance out of the semifinal. After the race, he did reveal that he had a hamstring injury he suffered about a month ago and before re-aggravating it this past week. In the NBA, Utah Jazz All-Star forward Lauri Markkanen has signed a 5-year, $238 million extension, formerly a first-round pick, 7th overall. He had 1 year left on his current deal, worth $18 million. In the majors, the Jays in action tonight once again. Vlad Guerrero looking to make it 18 or 19 straight games as they host the Orioles. First pitch in about 10 minutes time. Elsewhere, you got the Yankees on top of the Angels 5-2. Diamondbacks lead the Guardians 5-3. Marlins 1-0 on the Reds in the bottom of the first. Padres, Pirates, and Giants Nationals both scoreless, and the Edmonton Riverhawks will wrap up their regular season tonight in Nanaimo. That one gets going just after 8 o'clock. The team will then head home for their first home playoff game in franchise history, Saturday night, 7 o'clock, taking on the Bellingham Bells. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet, and we'll talk a little Pittsburgh Steelers with Alan Saunders. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Rule number 12, not spending the afternoon tubing on the Pembina? Next, you're going to tell us you don't wear flannel. Summer in Alberta has its own set of rules. And if you're looking to add a little extra fun, Play Alberta has it all. Use promo code SUMMER to snag a $50 casino bonus for casino, instance, and live dealer with your next deposit. Get ready for promotions throughout the summer to help you make the most of those sunny Alberta days, because we all know they won't last long enough. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
You turn on the tap and water comes out. You press the handle and flush the toilet. Living in our modern world, we sometimes take for granted or don't even think about all of the services and conveniences that are around us every day. But GS Construction does. Right under your feet, there's a whole network of underground infrastructure that needs to be built and maintained in order to have these basic services. GS Construction has been laying the groundwork for your community for 50 years. Find out more by going to gsconstruction.ca.
The summer road lays ahead. Your potential destinations are endless. Volvo Cars Edmonton gives you choice to match. Right now, lease a 2024 Volvo XC90 from 0% for qualifying loyal customers. Or save $7,000 on all new 2024 XC60 recharge plug-in hybrid models. All demo vehicles come with a free 10-year, 1 million kilometer warranty. No matter what you decide this summer will become, your first choice is Volvo Cars Edmonton. VolvoCarsEdmonton.com, 1205 101 Street Southwest.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
My utility bills are going through the roof. How can I take advantage of the sun and put my lazy roof to work?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Energy team reporting. When you're ready to make your home or business more efficient, Action Electrical has the power to install solar panel systems and EV chargers.
Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta with supercharged skills and strong family values. ActionElectrical.net.
Gather around the radio, kiddies, for the best time of day. It's Oodle Noodle time. Listen in this week as your noodle hero battles the barbarous Bobby Burger. Now sing along. You know the words.
Oodle Noodle time. Oodle Noodle time.
You know what time it is now. Get up and give me your best Oodle Noodle dance. Your best time of day is Oodle Noodle time.
If you've ever restored a classic car or seen one, you smile because you know what it took to get that beauty looking pristine. The same is true for men who restore their hair. Nothing but smiles for miles. Patients from all over Canada travel to see me, Dr. Vance Elliott, to have their hair loss treated and remedied. I've been helping people for 28 years. My practice is outfitted with the most innovative and latest hair transplant techniques and technology. And I do it myself. Contact us at drvanceelliott.com.
I read the rules before I broke them. I broke the chains before they choked me out. Now I pay close attention, really learn the code. I learned to read the map before I hit the road.
Hey, yo, I know you never heard this before, but I'd rather lose a fight than miss the war. And I ain't wishing competition or fishing for it. I'm just living in the system, conditions are poor. I've been lost in the rhythm and misinformed. Too many late nights hitting the liquor store. Too many bad decisions, half-ass attempts. No sweat, no fear, no blood, no tears. I go hard, and I ain't making up no excuse. I'm overdue, I don't do what
Just after 5 o'clock. As you make your way home, you made it through. Although, you know, it is a short week, but it's still officially hump day is done and gone. Only 2 days left and the weekend's upon you again. Fantastic. That'll be good news. So I hope you're ready. Lots going on this weekend. You have the Riverhawks playoff game on Saturday. If you want to get your tickets, they're going fast, so you might want to get them. Sunday, the Elks, Trey Ford's first home start of the season. They're taking on the BC Lions, and Vernon Adams will not be playing for the BC Lions as he is still banged up. So the Elks, could they win 2 in a row? Win one at home? Whew. Dare to dream, fans of the green and gold. Dare to dream. Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And if you're looking for a little bit of luck, Lotto 649. Get your tickets. $38 million in the gold jackpot tonight up for grabs at PlayAlberta.ca. We update you, of course, if you missed it. First ever medal for Canada in pole vault today. Miss Newman wins the first one. She put on a hell of a show. That was a great, actually, you know what? Both the men's and the women's pole vaults here the last few days have been fantastic entertainment and drama to watch. So that was great. Unfortunately, Andre DeGrasse did not qualify for the 200-meter final. He finished third in his heat and then did not have one of the 2 fastest times. So he is not through to the 200s. He's nursing a little bit of a hamstring injury, he informed the broadcast after his race. As it's time now for the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Underground construction. Doesn't get talked about a lot. Maybe it doesn't sexy, but it is super important and efficient for our everyday lives. You want running water and other things? Thank GS Construction. As Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us again. And Spec, I hear
Hold on. GS Construction. Turan Sandwich got nothing on me. I'm spending the afternoon building a change table at my granddaughter Lily's house.
How many?
Those guys,
Yeah.
This is Spectre Construction.
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah. What hour are you in on building your baby change table?
I think I'm about the second hour. Shalka's got Lily, and I'm building this baby. I'm building this change table. It's coming along great. Actually, you guys I was just rolling along when the phone rang here, Jay. So
how many?
Let's make this quick.
How many swears have you had during the construction thus far?
No, very almost done. I'm having built a million of these Wayfair / IKEA projects in my life. Yeah. I'm an instruction follower. I have learned that the instructions aren't wrong. Whenever I hear guys say, man, the instructions were wrong, I always think, no, they're not. Right? They've been building these things for 50 years. The instructions are right. You're probably wrong. I follow the instructions, and you know what? They're right so far, Jay.
So far. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
The only thing I'm cheating on is I'm using a drill. They say don't use a drill. I'm using the drill. I'm not turning that screwdriver that many times. But the good Lord invented power tools.
Yeah. Well, geez, you'd think those rider wrists, you'd be able to turn a screw or two.
Yeah, no, they're weak and not strong at all, actually. So, no, why am I turning this screw 40 times when I got a drill sitting right next to me? What the hell?
I know, it's fair. Now, as you're building the baby, were you able to watch any of the Olympics today? You see history in the making as Newman picks up the first ever medal in pole vault for Canada.
Yeah, that's really, really cool, man. I remember, I'm not sure, you are going to have to look this up, but if the 2001, I think the very first women's pole vault was 2000 in Sydney, because in 2001 in Edmonton, it was still brand new. Women pole vaulting. I remember Sergei Bubka, I think it was, the Russian guy, who looked at the women who at that point were jumping like 4 meters 2, 4 meters 4, and he scoffed and he said in his thick Russian accent, he said, "If it's not 5 meters, it's not pole vault." Now, I don't know what would the winning jump be today? Did it get over 5 meters?
495, I thought it was.
495. So they're still shooting for 5 meters, but it's a hell of a competition. There used to be about 5 girls that were good at it, and the rest were just participating. Now it's a way better field. We got a bronze. That's awesome. I haven't seen it all. You know what? We're going to get down here and I'm going to home. I'll watch it on TV tonight. But I love the pole vault. Did you watch the whole event today?
I did. Yeah. There was a few delays, so it got extended, but it was very entertaining. Now, because there was 19 in the final because of yesterday. People they struggled to get through, so it made it a little bit longer. But you know what? It was entertaining to watch. And Newman, she's just kind of a character. She missed one jump and she barely touched the bar, and so as she's landing, you see her face, she comes off the mat and she's talking to herself like this much, and then and then obviously she makes it, and she gets fired up. I like seeing to me the best part of pole vault is when they clear the bar and they're falling down into the mat, and you can see them smiling already. Like that fall, like either it's going to be an awesome one or you're just like rah, rah, rah. So it's to me that's kind of fun.
Well, and what again, until you sit through one of those, it's like 100 meters, okay? It's totally awesome, but it's a 9.8, 10-second event, and it's over. There's not a lot of drama inside 10 seconds. Even the longer the race is, the more that you can see the strategy, all that. But a high jump competition and a pole vault competition, you get to know all the players, right? Yeah. You get to know, oh, here comes the Finnish girl again. Oh, there's that girl from Norway. And one passes at a height and then the other doesn't pass, and they have to anyway. To me, it's theater. It's it can be a 3-hour event. It can last for a long time. They tend to, certainly as I recall, Jay, they put it in an end zone So if you want to just sit in the end zone seats and watch 3 hours of the drama and see who wins, it's a really cool little bit of theater. Again, it's very unique to track and field. I can't sort of think of a sports equivalent, right, in some other sport to a pole vault or high jump competition.
Yeah, no, it's true. And you're right. It did start in the Olympics in 2000. So it's
there you go.
Still relatively new when you think about it. It's only the, what is that, the sixth one they've done now, maybe the seventh. Seventh. Canada, beach volleyball, they're doing well. The track hasn't gone. Mohammed fell today in his 5,000, so he doesn't. So that sucks for him. That was actually carnage. I don't know if you saw that race, man, but it was crazy. Like guys were jostling, and they come around the last corner, and there's like 4 guys wiping out. It was, like honestly, I was like, hey, am I watching a little demolition derby here? That's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's like NASCAR sometimes. And what you don't see too is the guys who finish, their shins and their calves are often bleeding because they're running in such a tight pack that they cut each other with their spikes, not intentionally, but the spikes are sharp, right?
Oh, yeah.
I remember the first time I saw there was a sort of a pasty white guy from Canada. He came through the 1500, and I said, what happened to you? He goes, oh, yeah, it happens all the time. He's got blood running down his legs. I'm like, holy man. But anyway, it's fun theater. Hey, those races, the 1500s, the 10,000s, the 5,000s, they're fun to watch because, you kind of get to know the characters, and you kind of start to cheer for the guy from Ireland or whoever you're cheering for, right? So it's a lot of fun to watch.
Oh yeah, no, honestly, the longer these Olympics have gone on, the more I find I'm enthralled by so many different events, and I'm quite the 200 meter final is going to be great. That today the women's 200 meter final was electric to watch, and the 400 meter, I'm on Femke Bull. I'm looking for her in the women's 400 meter hurdles. I saw her in that relay earlier, and the way she came back on people, I'm like, I got to watch her race now. So like, I've never watched Femke Bull before, but I'm going to be watching her now. So it's quite nice. Awesome. The Edmonton Elks spec, we talked about it, that no Vernon Adams, Trey Ford obviously will be the starter for the green and gold here. And, is playoffs, like, I don't think it's realistic, to be honest, but I look at it, and if you're the new owner, and let's say that they win this week, and now it's 2 in a row. Like obviously, I know there's the legalities, and you got to get all your T's crossed and I's dotted. But man, there might be something about wanting to make your announcement when the team's winning.
Well, that's true. You certainly have to like where it's going. I mean, it's only 1 win in a row, so maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves here, Jay. But I certainly, if I'm the guy looking at this team, waiting to announce that I'm the new owner, I love where it's heading. I'm a typical guy. I've got friends who tailgate, and I'm going to the game on Sunday because now I feel like, listen, full disclosure, I've come on your show and Kevin's show and carved up the Elks this year hard and frequently. But you know what? I think I speak from all the fans out there. Give me a product, and I'm willing to go down to the park and watch it play out, And I'm not telling you they got to win. They don't have to win to keep me. That's unrealistic. But go down there and play BC tough and roll out Trey Ford and let me get excited about watching them play. And maybe they will win. And if it's a close game and they don't, hey, that's okay. But, they've got something that's dragging us down to the park again. So maybe we've passed rock bottom here, Jay, right? Maybe we're at a point where it's going to start going up. Is that fair?
Well, yeah, it can't get any worse, that's for sure. I don't think Trey Ford's losing 7 in a row based on the fact that he's 5-6, and that when he doesn't play, the team's 0-15, for goodness sake. So, God. But I do think you can build some momentum. And the reason I mentioned about the timing from the owner is I do think fans want to come back. And if I'm the owner, I want my first press conference to be where there's a little bit of excitement around the team. And Trey Ford, you can come in. You know what? If I'm the owner, I come into my press conference like, yeah, Trey Ford's going to be our starting quarterback. And I know people say, yeah, but he's the owner. You don't want to get involved in football operations. Screw that. No one else has the guts in the organization to say it. I'm going to say it as the owner. He's our starting quarterback, and we're going to give him an opportunity to, until he loses the job, because nothing Trey Ford did when he was 4-6 said he should have lost his job.
Well, you're right. Absolutely true. And if this team's going to be privately run, then it's different. I think that the Eskimos and their community-owned structure and their board of governors, they all became frankly, they were still complacent from all those years where you just had to open the doors to Commonwealth. And you know, it used to be 50,000 people flocked in. Then it was 40,000 people that flocked in. Then, you know, the crowds weren't so great, Jay, but we were getting 30,000 every night. And then it kind of got to 20,000. And you thought, oh, man, we're no better than Hamilton here. And here we are getting 10,000 a night. And frankly, the organization didn't change itself. It was the same community-owned, complacent, we're not going to do anything organization. And if we're going to private ownership here, it's a whole new ballgame. And damn it, if I own that team, I'm talking to my GM too and saying, look, whatever happens this year happens, but we got to get some excitement. We've got to sell some tickets. We've got to get our crowds going. And if that means playing Trey Ford, I expect you to start Trey Ford.
100%. And there's like, you'd have to be absolute clueless right now not to play Trey Ford. Like it's a no-brainer. It's obvious to play him. And like you said, it doesn't guarantee you're going to win every game, but my God, at least you're entertaining and you've been infinitely more, 500% more competitive with Trey Ford with 5 wins to 0 wins. So it's a no-brainer to me. And I just, you know, there's small little details that the owner, I think it could be good timing for them. So if you're that close, I'd be like, hey, lawyers, how much more do my understanding is like, I know who the owner is and they don't want his name out. So that's fine. I'll respect that. But to me, it's like, hey, get the deal done.
Yeah, I think we're all waiting patiently, you know, listen, we're waiting patiently. We have been for a lot of changes around that franchise. And the big one here is ownership. You know, it's time, right? I think it's time for community ownership has lived its life and probably died of old age here. It's probably time for a real, you know, one-man owner to come in with fresh ideas and a guy with some hustle and a guy with some money and a guy with some marketing. I know Victor Cui was supposed to be Mr. Marketing, didn't work so great. But I'm with you, Jay. I think it's this will sort of complete the change. This new, you know, let's face it. Seems I don't know how old the Elks are, but they started in the 40s and they've been community owned since the day they were coined. Isn't that the fact?
Oh yeah. Right. From what
85, 90 years of community ownership is what I'm saying. So this will be an abrupt change. We've never had a private owner of our football team here. And I think in 2024, Jay, I think we've reached the point where it's time.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. Looking at, and then, you know, you have another team that's local ownership, the Riverhawks Spec. I know you're a big baseball guy. They're into the playoffs. They'll be on Saturday night. Their crowds have been great. I think they've got a very good chance to have a sellout or are darn close for that. I know Steve Hogel's talked about it, that you know, for their big games and stuff moving forward, there'll be assigned seating, which is a great sign. Whereas before, you know, there was assigned seating in certain sections and it was first come, first serve, and away you go. You know, there's a great example of a team that's come in and in 2 short years has shown you how you can grab the attention of the local sporting community.
Yeah, for sure. Now they're looking for, you know, 5,000 people for a night for an 8-game homestand. The Elks are looking for 30,000 once every 2 weeks, but it's different, but it's the same. You got to get people hot on your product. You know, and I'll say this: what I've seen about I'm not hanging around the Riverhawks. I've been at the lake. I haven't been going to games, but what I'm hearing from people is this. I remember going to a game. We went to a game last year. It was the Barbie night. It was actually a ton of fun. And the place was packed. Yeah. And I'm going to be straight with you. They didn't have the infrastructure to handle a full house back then.
Yes.
Right? The beer lineups were too long. The food lineups were too long. They didn't have enough staff because it's just a little mom and pop organization. They don't have enough people to handle 6,000 fans. They kind of got surprised. And I'm hearing that's all changing, right? Now they're kind of figuring out how to handle a full house. And now when you go there and it's a full house, you don't have to wait forever for a beer. They got that. They're sorting that out. And they're growing up and they're turning into a real organization. And man, my hat is so off to Steve Vogel and Randy Gregg and all those people. They have taken pro baseball in Edmonton, and I can't think of how they could have done a better job with it.
Yeah, no, it's made it really, it's exciting. They have a great way of interacting with the crowd. You know, baseball is not necessarily the fastest moving game, Spec. You know, and in our society now, everybody's like quick.
Yep.
The fact that you can get kids and people to come and enjoy the game, I think that's a major accomplishment.
Now they're running that drone, like that drone's over top the shortstop's head while the game's going on. You know, like I get it. there's leagues where they're not going to allow that stuff. Like everyone says, hey, they're going to get a big pro league up here. And that might be true, but there's things you can't do in higher levels of ball that they're probably doing now. But who cares? For now, are they ever having a good time and making it fun? And you're right, Jay, to get today's kid to sit through baseball. And you got to, how old is Beck now? 11?
He's 10 and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 and a half. You try to get Beck to sit through 2.5 hours of baseball. It takes some doing, and I think they're figuring out how to do it.
Oh yeah, no, you know what? He actually quite enjoys it, and he's been hey, we're going to a playoff game, so I might be doing the Saturday Sunday sport, which is great. As a dad now, he's at this he likes to go to the sporting events. Like I'm a sports fan, so I'm like, dude, I'll go all the time. Yeah, 100%.
Of course,
it's fun. Sit in a crowd. It's nice out. It was almost too hot the last game, though. I will say that. I was like, oh my God.
You see people there, right? People you run across, and it's a nice sunny night at the park. And do we really care who wins that much? It's baseball, not really.
Well, actually, true story, Spec. The game we went to, I was walking by, I saw Gene Prince. We sat down, we chatted with him for a bit. Foul ball comes over, and it comes in a Gene's section, and his wife picks it up and then gives the ball to Beckett. So he was pretty fired up.
Hey, good for Karen. Not a girl.
Gene was trying to keep it, but
I'm sure Gene was trying to talk her out of it. Yeah,
I'm kidding.
He was not. You're talking about the nicest.
No, I know
guy.
He is the nicest. That's why I'm saying it, because everybody knows it was a joke. Of course, Gene would be like grabbing his wife. Hey, you're giving that ball, right? So yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I'm looking forward to that. One last
weekend.
Sidney Crosby, by the way, it's his birthday today, and I was on record last week as saying I actually think for what's best for Crosby and the Penguins is that he doesn't re-sign in Pittsburgh. I think honestly, I don't need to be nostalgic. I think Sidney Crosby wants to compete, unless he just wants to end his career with no chance to win, because that's the reality about the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're not that good. I think Crosby would be better off to get traded at the deadline, and the Penguins could start the rebuild, get some really good pieces, because Sidney Crosby's a hell of a player, and every team would want him. He's a great leader, all those sorts of things. What do you think if you're the Penguins and you're Crosby specifically? Do you think you could look that far and say, you know what, this might be better for me not to sign?
Well, Crosby is in the last year of his deal, and I believe he makes his number, right?
Yeah, 8.7.
8.7 million, right. So whatever, they could eat half of that. Trading 4.35 at the deadline ain't easy. There's no doubt about that, but someone could figure it out.
Oh, God.
That's the financial part. The emotional part is, this is one of the greats of all time, and we love to see there's no Steve Yzermans left to finish their career in one place. It just doesn't happen. But I don't want to see Sid miss the playoffs for the last 2 or 3 years of his career.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching that Pittsburgh team. I watch Edmonton play that Pittsburgh team. So do all the people listening right now. I happen to be lucky enough to be at the games in Pittsburgh, and Edmonton, they're so slow. They can't compete with the Oilers. Every games used to be great when it was McDavid and Crosby, and they were fantastic games. And oh my God, who's going to win? Edmonton beats them for fun now because Edmonton's good and Pittsburgh isn't. So if you're asking me to pick a side of this fence, I would love to see him get moved to Edmonton at the deadline, or some good team that's got a shot. That's go let him play with McKinnon in Colorado. How awesome would that be?
Yeah, no, I agree, and I wonder if it actually transpires. I think it'd be the right move. I don't know if Crosby would want to do it. I get the loyalty factor. I understand all of it, but
it's totally up to Sid. Yeah. It's completely, the Pittsburgh Penguins and Mario Lemieux and all those people that are there absolutely would, in my opinion, would leave it completely up to Sidney Crosby. And if he decided that's what he wanted, they would facilitate that move. And as we all know, he would come back and sign a contract and go in the Hall of Fame as a Pittsburgh Penguin, as he should.
Yes.
As he should.
Yeah.
He's a lifetime Penguin. He's given that franchise everything. He's given them, 1, 2, 3 cups? Did he win 3 cups there?
Yeah, 3 cups. 3 cups.
Yeah.
No, 3 cups. 09,
3 cups.
16, and 17. And he's played 19 seasons for the Penguins.
Yeah. So, if you know what, I'm here to tell you, if I'm a Pittsburgh fan, I'd love to see him, I'd set him free. If we're talking about McDavid in 10 years and he's 37 and the Oilers are over the hill and they've jumped the shark and they're on the way down, I'm saying go, Connor. Be free.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Go somewhere where I can watch you in the spring instead of heading home to the cabin on April 15th.
Yeah, I honestly, I think the longer it goes a contract, it might actually be better. So it'll be curious to see.
That'd be
how
fun.
that
Well,
plays out.
you heard it here first, Jay.
Yeah. Well, hey, I've said it for many times. We'll see if Crosby's clear. He likes to listen to the podcast. So
I know he does. Yeah.
Sid, how
I
you
know he
doing?
does.
Oh, happy birthday! And we'll talk to you. We'll have you on the show again.
Tim Hortons is on me.
Yeah. Touche. Well, Spec, get back to your crib building because I know you want to try to get it done before you go to sleep. So you got a few hours in. So get a good shift.
Okay. Thanks, brother.
There
See
you
ya.
go. It's Mark Spector in the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Honestly, like, where would you come out? Like, to me, I think this is an obvious decision. Like, how are you going to be happy if you're Sidney Crosby playing in Pittsburgh with no chance to win? Right? Now, hey, maybe he's comfortable in his neighborhood, but I don't know. I'd want to change at that point. I think it'd be better for all parties. Quick break. We'll return. There is a change coming. We'll talk about a trade. When's it going to happen? Because it seems inevitable. Next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Elevate your home's curb appeal effortlessly with House Numbers Canada, locally owned and operated right here in Edmonton. Their state-of-the-art modern house numbers and address signs are the perfect solution for a quick and stylish upgrade. Multiple size and color options, stock items, custom designs, and the always popular LED illuminated numbers. Quality guaranteed or your money back. So what are you waiting for? Give your home the modern upgrade it deserves. Explore House Numbers Canada's exclusive collection at housenumberscanada.ca.
Jonathan and Murray are friends.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. Except when they talk about which stadium is more fun in the summer.
Dude, Commonwealth has Elks Fan Park. Tailgating at its finest.
But it can't compare to the old ballpark in the River Valley. Riverhawks games are electric. But ask them who makes the best beef jerky in Alberta, and they'll tell you.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
It's the only thing everyone can agree on. So pick some up for your summer pregame snack.
Wilhauk beef jerky, because you don't win friends with salad.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
The Brick is celebrating its 53rd birthday with fantastic deals in every department. Take up to 25% off dining and bedroom furniture and up to 40% off mattresses. And buy more, save more. Up to $400 off select major appliances. And don't forget about back-to-class favorites like desks starting at $74.95, small appliances starting at $99, and mattresses at just $169. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Have you lost control of your debt following unexpected car troubles, home repairs, an illness, or a divorce? You're not alone. Life happens. My name is Parveen Middleton, a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton, and I'm here to listen to your story. Every day, I craft personalized debt relief solutions to help people like you regain control. Take the first step now. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book your free consultation.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the long arm of the law. Lawman is putting an end to my running, and I'm so far from my home. Oh, mama, I can hear you.
Best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Don't have that red on.
Rolling through a lovely Wednesday afternoon. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. Hope you are having yourselves a wonderful Wednesday evening. Hey, barbecue season is on right now, boys and girls. So I love the barbecue. Something about it, man. Barbecued zucchini, top of the list. Top of the list. No question about it. So I love it. Love it. Let's talk a little NFL, brought to you by Action Electrical, where Action Electrical is 50 years in the industry. Why? Because they are reliable, they are professional, they always look to give you the best deal, save you as much as you can. ActionElectrical.net. And we were talking about a Sidney Crosby deal, which would make sense. Well, that hasn't been discussed right now, realistically, but what has been all over the place is the Brandon Aiyuk trade. And possible destinations include the Pittsburgh Steelers. Alan Saunders from Steelers Now joins us. Alan, welcome back to the show, my man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. Yeah, we were talking about the Pittsburgh is about to get another star from the Bay Area. Maybe I think they're hopeful this one might do better than the Carlson trade.
Yeah, very fair point. We were actually just talking about that. Yeah, they don't have much chance to win there. That's why I'm going to ask you that. Being in Pittsburgh, I think the best thing for that organization and Crosby individually would be to trade him at the trade deadline and start a rebuild. And because they're not going to have much chance to compete there. Right? I know teams think they can, but they just can't compete. So do you think that would be plausible? And how would that be received in Pittsburgh if Crosby said, you know what, I think I'm going to go somewhere else?
I don't think Crosby would ever want it or would ever go along with it. And so for that reason, I don't think it was plausible. Now, if he went to the Penguins and said, hey, look, I see the writing on the wall, I don't know, send me to wherever, I think they might agree to that. But that's just not the way he's wired. I don't see it.
Yeah. So, okay. And that's fair. Now, Brandon Aiyuk, it was interesting. And I wonder how much of it was, people putting out there, oh, the Steelers are out and it's the Browns and it's the Patriots. And all of a sudden it's like, no, the Steelers are still in. What type of return do you think they would have to give up to get Aiyuk?
Well, I think the 49ers really want a significant player coming back the other way. The problem is the Steelers don't really have a significant player they can afford to give. And the teams that do have that, the Browns and the Patriots, Aiyuk doesn't seem to want to play for. So there's this sort of stalemate. I think right now what's happening is the 49ers are trying to figure out, okay, if we just take draft picks for him, could we trade them somewhere else around the NFL and get what we're looking for by making two trades instead of just doing it all in one? I think that's probably where we are right now. But, yeah, it doesn't seem like the 49ers are going to get what they want, and now you can get what he wants at the same time right now, and that's why we're in this, I don't know, 3-day standoff.
When you look at the ask, like what type of contract? Do you know? Does anybody know what Aiyuk's looking for in salary?
Well, I think he wants to beat the deal that Amon-Ra St. Brown got for the Detroit Lions. That's sort of been stated. I also, so you're looking at essentially $30 million a year. I mean, give or take $1 million here, and then it depends on the guarantees too. I know part of the deal, part of what has been a holdup with him in San Francisco has been how far into the contract there is guaranteed money. That's part of it too. So maybe he would take a little less if he got a little more guaranteed, whatever. But a deal that is above what Amon-Ra St. Brown got is what it's going to take to get him to agree to a long-term contract.
And do the Steelers have the cap space to do that?
They do. They have about $15 million in cap space right now, and they can make a whole lot more. They've been talking with Cam Hayward about a contract extension. Any Cam Hayward contract extension would save comfortably $10 million under this year's cap, maybe more. They can also restructure the deals at TJ Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick. So they're pretty salary cap flexible right now. The question becomes in the future, they're not paying a quarterback right now. Russell Wilson's here under the minimum salary. That's not going to stay forever. Can they afford to keep everyone long term if they do this deal with Aiyuk? And then, Najee Harris is a free agent after this season. Pat Freiermuth is a free agent after this season. George Pickens will be a free agent following the next season. I don't know if they could make all that work, but they certainly could fit him under the salary cap for right now.
What about Russell Wilson? What's their expectation for him at quarterback?
I think he'll be very steady. I don't think he's going to be spectacular. you know, you look at the numbers in Denver the last 2 years, it wasn't great. I wasn't expecting a lot when I see him, but get him out there in the practice field. He throws the ball well. He still moves pretty well. He has a ton of just energy for a guy who's 35. You know, he doesn't look or feel like a guy who's over the hill or mailing it in. You know, he's excited to be at practice every day. He's been dealing with a little calf injury, and you can kind of just tell that it's been killing him not to be out there at camp. So he took his first full first team practice today. It looks good. I don't think he's going to light the world on fire. You know, I think the Steelers would be happy if he's slightly above average NFL quarterback. But if you compare that to what they had, I think that's an improvement.
Yeah. What went wrong in their quarterback last year?
Man, that's one I'm not sure we're ever going to exactly figure out. You know, I think a big part of it was they made a big mistake in terms of bringing Matt Canada back as the offensive coordinator. You knew that things didn't go well the first year when it was him and Kenny Pickett. And then you just brought the same pieces back. You had no way to evaluate the parts independently of each other. And then they end up throwing both away. Did the Steelers have a quarterback that maybe could have been good if they had put him in a better circumstance? I don't know that we're going to know the answer to that question, at least not for a while. That's probably something that could haunt them later if Kenny Pickett goes on later in his career to look like the player that people thought he was going to be when he came out of college. So I think that was the big problem, was that the offensive scheme wasn't very good, and then they fired Canada midseason. They got one game with Pickett without him, with the interim offensive coordinator, and then he got hurt. And so you never really got a chance to give him a fair evaluation. But I think it was clear that, you know, from a leadership perspective, this is an older defense. These are guys that are in the second half of their career, talking about T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, Minkah Fitzpatrick. These are guys that don't seem to have a lot of patience for trying to develop along with a young quarterback. And when the stories came out that the Steelers were close to acquiring Russell Wilson, and that it was those guys, those veteran defensive players, that were sort of personally recruiting Wilson and trying to land him in Pittsburgh, I think that says a lot about what the locker room wanted the team to do at quarterback. And you know, you can't always let that wheel drive the bus. But I think in this instance, it made a lot of sense.
Alan Saunders joins us, a beat reporter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Alan, the Steelers have been like, there's been no better organization when it comes to consistency and 500. And, you know, they don't make the playoffs all the time, but they don't have losing seasons, right? And so you look at the Steelers and that, like the odds tell us eventually that's going to end, right? But the organization obviously doesn't want it to end. Are they making decisions that don't jive with what their overall talent pool is at this point?
No, I don't see that. I think maybe they've actually kind of gone the other way, where like they really want to win a playoff game. It's been it'll be 8 years since their last playoff win. I think they're kind of in a place where they're making some moves. Like they're going to get a 35-year-old quarterback. They could be trading for one of the top wide receivers on the market. Those are kind of win now moves. I don't know that they have all the pieces to be in win now mode in terms of Super Bowl contention. It sort of seems like they're kind of selling out to get farther in the playoffs than they have, and just say, hey, we're not just a wild card weekend loser anymore. We're getting into the postseason. It really feels like that's where this team wants to be. I'm not sure if that's a good place to be if your end goal is to get back to the Super Bowl. You know, you can make a good argument that the Steelers would have been better off to have a bad year along the way. That maybe when in 2019, when Ben got hurt, instead of finishing 8-8, it would have been better for the team if they had just been bad and gotten a high draft pick and be able to sort of turn over the roster a little bit. But they've been kind of stuck in the middle for a while. I think they have a real desire to move beyond that, and I think they're being pretty aggressive in trying to get there.
So when you look at this Aiyuk deal, I don't know if it seems like there's urgency. Obviously, you know, any team would want to get him in as soon as they can because then he has more time to understand the offense. Do you get it? Like, is this a deal that happens right away? And are the Steelers the front runner?
I think the Steelers are the front runner if he's traded. I do think that. I think there should be no urgency on the part of the San Francisco 49ers. They're making a trade that is going to make their team worse. If they can find a way to not do that, they should. They're a team that is a rightful Super Bowl favorite. I mean, they're certainly one of the best teams in the NFL. The NFC provides a much easier path back to the Super Bowl. Like, they should feel like this is their year. So I kind of think that this trade is a bad idea from San Francisco's standpoint. I don't know why they would rush into it. I think they should take their time and see, hey, maybe something changes throughout. Maybe, somebody who is not part of this sweepstakes, somebody gets an injury. So, there could be lots of things that would change the trajectory for other teams. If they're making a bad deal, you'd rather make a bad deal later than make a bad deal now. I think this would be a bad trade for San Francisco. So I can see them dragging this out for a while.
Yeah, because they're like, and really there's no major urgency. I just can't afford to sit out, right? Like just the way the rules are, right? So they can be like, okay, well, yeah, we'll try to facilitate a trade, but we're only going to do it if it works for us.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think there's still, I'm reading the reporting out of San Francisco, and obviously I trust the opinions of the journalists there, but, I still think there ought to be anyway a way for him to end up back there, whether that's on a long-term deal or not, just to play out the year. I think they should be trying to go for it. They shouldn't be trading away their best wide receiver. But sometimes egos get in the way, sometimes feelings get in the way, and things are said that can't be unsaid, and then all of a sudden you end up, making a trade that looks bad on paper. And certainly plenty of teams have been there before. But I think the 49ers will probably drag their feet to avoid doing this if they feel like they can find another way.
Alan, great stuff, man. We really appreciate the rundown. Enjoy what should be an interesting time here in Pittsburgh as the Steelers, obviously, I think Brandon Aiyuk's really underrated. So I can understand why other teams want to get him. And, it's probably a trade you're going to win.
Yeah, I think so too. And Omar Khan's legacy may grow as the GM that gets one over on everybody else.
Awesome. Thanks, Alan. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Jason.
There you go. That's Alan Sauner joining us from Pittsburgh. We'll come back, wrap things up on a very busy Wednesday in the world of sports on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, live on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price starting at $1 plus tax for a small. It's great if you love great tasting coffee. $1 small premium roast coffee every single day. Must be McCafe. Plus tax at participating restaurants in Canada. Excludes delivery.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches. We provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact Ted Nakamura at 780-940-08.
From St. Albert Dodge. I'm here to say you do not want to miss our final clear out of classic Ram 1500 trucks. It really is your last chance to drive a brand new Ram truck off the lot with 25% off. When these are gone, they're gone. Or how about a Jeep Wrangler with up to $7,500 in savings and 0% financing on every model? Come see how we earn our industry-leading 4.6 Google review rating. You're going to love how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass. For over 65 years, Denham Ford has delivered the customer service and value that keeps Albertans moving. And nothing moves Albertans better than Canada's best-selling truck, the Ford F-150. Here now with rates as low as 0% or savings up to $17,000. That's the value you've come to expect from where cars always cost less. 0% or $17,000 off F-150s. Only at Denham Ford in Wetaskiwin or at denhamford.ca.
This summer, as the sun shines, the grass will grow. Tame your yard with the help from the Lawnmower Hospital. Live on an acreage? Save up to $2,000 and get 0% financing for 36 months on select Toro zero-turn tractors. Save up to $2,000 and get 0% financing for 36 months on select Toro zero-turn tractors, OAC. For smaller jobs, go for the Toro Super Recycler with personal pace and electric start. Make summer yard care a breeze with Toro and the Lawnmower Hospital.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
LawnmowerHosp.com.
I've got a smile on my face, and I've got four walls around me. I've got the sun in the sky, all the water surround me. Oh, no. Yeah, I win down, sometimes I lose. I've been battered, but I never bruise. It's not so bad. And I say, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind.
Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show, alongside Connor Halley, Declan Kruger running things on our digital side. I hope you're having an awesome day. When you get home, you'll want to watch some of the Olympics for sure. I highly recommend the 200 meters, the 400 meters, some drama there. Check out, of course, the pole vault. Discus, man, they can throw that thing. It is absolutely crazy how they're just chucking that thing around. No big deal. Kayaking, always enjoy that sport. So a variety for you to watch and enjoy today as we are into the final few days. 3 full days, 3.5, I guess, of competition before the closing ceremonies. I know I've had a lot of people wondering, hey guys, why would McIntosh not be the flag bearer for the closing ceremonies? Well, I don't think that rules out that she is. Like, I don't see any way how she can't be, to be honest. She's the first Canadian Olympian ever to have 3 gold medals in one Olympics. How can she not be? I know she flew back to Canada already. You know what? You're here. She's visiting, enjoying time, but she did say she'd fly back. It's not like it's that long of a flight, 7 hours, or maybe even shorter from Toronto. So I would be quite surprised if she was. Like, I don't understand what the message would be. The whole point of being a flag bearer is that you had a great Olympics. Well, no one in the history of the country has ever had a better Olympics. Like, it would be ridiculous and now you can be very quiet about it. Fly her back in. She's that big of a deal. So, you know what? But why didn't she stay? I have no idea. Maybe, you know what? She just want to come home and relax. Probably exhausted. Takes 3 days to relax. Flies back there in 3 days, and away you go. I would think for sure that would be the way to do it. So, hey guys, Miss Newman's reaction to winning the bronze was pure and real. I absolutely loved it. From Vic, it's very well. Her whole reaction, the entire competition, I thought was fantastic. So, hey guys, I'm a Rough Rider fan, but I'm a CFL fan. Go Elks, just not too much from Todd. And Todd, that's well said. I think, you know what, you want organizations to be more successful because that allows the league to be more successful. And I honestly, I'm a firm believer that when the Elks, when this deal is finally announced, the new owner comes in, there's some things, like, it's going to be difficult because here's the harsh truth about the Elks and the CFL. They have lost, I think, a generation of fans who are now, not all, but a vast majority who are 20 to 35 years of age. I really do. And a lot of those young kids, you know what? They saw fantasy football. They got introduced. They saw the NFL way more. The Elks, outside of a 4-year stretch in that 15-year span, haven't done very much winning at all. And that does matter. And so those people, if they were never exposed to the games, you know what? And sadly, there is a little bit of a sheep mentality now where people read stuff online and they just blindly believe it without ever researching themselves. It's my biggest pet peeve in life. But there's been, the CFL is boring. It's second-tier league, blah, blah, blah. So sadly, negativity at times gets more notoriety than positivity. It's unfortunate. So that's a significant stretch and age range of people now who are in their prime years of having a little bit more disposable income, can go out to games. And so you can't just snap your fingers and get them all back. That's not how it's going to work at all. So it's going to be hard. Make no mistake about it. It's not just like, oh, we got a new owner, everybody's coming back and supporting the team. It's not that easy. There's going to be some things they have to do different. I think, as Trent Brown said, I actually ran into Trent, the Stingers game. He goes, yeah, I got a little carried away at times. But I'm like, don't apologize. It's told truth. I've been saying it for years. I thought, the board made some bad decisions. And, we can go through them. Who they hired as presidents, and, Preston and Quee were utter failures. Utter failures. Right? You had Ian coming out basically spitting in the face of the existing fan base, insulting them, rather than just say, hey, we love our fans and we'd like to get a younger, more diverse group. Great. Everybody be like, yeah, that's needed. It's 100% truth. But how he went about it and then tried to be lame. Oh, I was misquoted. No, you weren't. Here's your entire quote. No one misquoted you. We asked you a question. This was your very bad answer. That's the truth. Don't blame anyone else. You said it. Someone asked you a question. You answered with a terrible answer. It's on you. No one else. Don't say they tried to twist your words. It was lame. And that was, you know what? It's being a bad demise. But again, I don't think it's something that isn't repairable. Especially when you have a quarterback like Trey Ford. People want to be entertained. He's entertaining. Now, obviously, you want to win some games. And at least with Ford, you got to fit close to a 50-50 chance of winning, which is an infinitely better chance than 0 and 15. So I think the owner, I would hope, like they're going to, I'm curious about how they're going to build their franchise. Are you going to have, and these decisions, I would hope when they have the press conference, these are answers they have an answer for. Not just, well, I just bought the team, I don't know yet. No. You've been in negotiation to know about the team for a long time. So are you going to have just one president of football operations who oversees the business and the football side? You could. Or are you going to go Hamilton's way where they have a president of business and a president of football operations? Then they have the GM and it trickles down from there. What about the scouts? Right? Who would they bring in? Is G. Roy Simon their answer for the GM? I don't know. They'll probably have to interview him, get his thoughts on a lot of things. But he's got an interim basis, which is the smart thing. Because to me, if I'm the owner, even if I think G. Roy's the guy, I'm still going to interview some other people for the GM job. Because you can gain a lot of good information from people outside your organization. And guess what? Maybe you can use some of that. So, hey, Greg's, are Riverhawk tickets on sale? Yes, they are. You can go to the Riverhawks website. Just Google in, very simple, Edmonton Riverhawks. Can't miss it. And it's actually just riverhawksbaseball.com. There, I saved you a trip. You want to go get your tickets? Get them for Saturday night. Some playoffs. We had Stingers playoffs last weekend. We got Riverhawks playoffs. You had a whole 2 months of Oilers playoffs. Dare to dream. Maybe there'll be some Elks playoffs. Probably a big dream, but you never know. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Be safe. Enjoy your Wednesday evening, and we will chat with you tomorrow. Let's get to the comment on Sports 1440 update brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Use the promo code SUMMER and snag a $50 casino bonus for casino instance and live dealer with your next deposit at PlayAlberta.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Canada's Alicia Newman has a bronze medal in the women's pole vault at the Paris Games. She set a new national record in personal best by clearing 4.85 meters, claiming Canada's 19th medal at these games, getting closer to their 2020 total of 24. Canadian sprinter Andre DeGrasse will not repeat as the 200-meter gold medalist after he failed to advance out of his semifinal race. After the race, he did reveal that he had a hamstring injury that first surfaced about a month ago and re-aggravated it this week. Utah Jazz All-Star forward Lauri Markkanen has signed a 5-year, $238 million contract extension. He had 1 year left on his current deal, worth $18 million. Major League Baseball, Vlad Guerrero Jr. keeps the hot streak going. He's at 19 straight games with the hit as the Jays right now lead the Orioles heading into the third, 3-2. Elsewhere, Nationals, Giants had a 3 apiece. The Padres have a 4-3 lead in the fourth, and heading into the fifth, Marlins lead the Reds 5-0. Some finals from earlier today had the Diamondbacks knocking off the Guardians 7-3 in game one of their doubleheader. They'd win game two as well, 5-3. Astros over the Rangers 6-4. The White Sox losing to the Athletics 3-2, and the Yankees get past the Angels 5-2. The Edmonton Riverhawks in action tonight, wrapping up their regular season in a game up against Nanaimo. That'll get going just after 8 o'clock. And then on Saturday, they'll host their first ever playoff game in franchise history. 7 o'clock. Doors open at 5:30, taking on the Bellingham Bells. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, we've got Turn Sports. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station.